Can we start, madam?
Yes, sir. Sir, please, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So, very good evening to one and all. We, in the last class, if you remember, we were talking in terms of, we were very much on the line of talking with respect to block one of your entire training module, which is pertaining to the concepts of training, and then we went into a little more talking about the uh, how training and types of training actually come into play. So that is what we were talking about. So today we will be talking about more in terms of learning and its techniques. Okay, how does it actually work in the real world? So let me bring the slide into the picture. Just give me a second. Are you able to see my screen? No.
No, sir, not yet.
Okay, I'm just bringing that screen. Is it better now? You're able to see?
Yes, sir.
Good. Thank you. Thank you so much for confirming. So today we will be talking about more in terms of. So I put it in the presenter's view. You are able to see the screen better.
Yes, sir.
So today we are going to talk about learning and its techniques, how it actually works for us, and that is where we are poised to understand the basic concepts and the significance of training, define how it explains the key components, and identify and articulate the objectives of a training program, and differentiate between, as we already did, training and development. We also will come back to comprehend the concept of skill upgradation in various aspects of training. So, last class, if you remember, we were talking about it in terms of what is the percentile of training. Today, we'll talk about 70% of learning happens through experience and doing, which is where we call it as experiential or on the job or in terms of OJT, right? So 20% is through observation, and that is the key out there. And 10% actually happens from the classroom. So this is very surprising, isn't it? From what you would have otherwise felt that the majority is from the classroom. What we are talking about is the recall value of learning. Please understand. So, what I'm talking about is the recall value of learning. So, it's not about learning. Learning probably is 100% in the classroom, or 80%, or 70%, or 60%. But we are talking about the recall value of that learning is probably only 10% of the formal sessions. But the 20% is what they observe, what they visualize, what they go through, like a video clipping or a particular way of doing a role play. All that actually happens. And that is where the 70% also comes, as we talked about. So that is what is a mix of technique which you have used. Today, if you talk about designing a training program or a learning program, I think it is extremely important that you should have a fine combination of these three elements and keeping the classroom as minimal. Just now, I was doing it for one of the designing of a IB school where we were talking about making that as a what we call as a classroom classroom craft. Okay, a creative, innovative thinking and design thinking kind of thing. So there, the retention of these students are so less, minimal. So that's why the classroom, we have kept it as 1 hour. We kept 2 hours as practical or lab, and then we left them open in giving a DIY list so that they actually pick up what they actually want to do. So that gives a free fall of learning. And that is where 70 and 20 is much more there compared to the 10%. Keeping that in view, I've designed it. So, in all of this three, one of the most important factors is learning is the key because it unlocks the golden or the potential of the person in terms of giving the freedom to take into a path of a career or a path of passion or a path of living, whichever way you want to look at it. So, if you really look at it, there are actually four different quadrants here. Coming from that KSA, which we also do in terms of a TNA, it's called as a training need analysis. If you look at that, one is called as a permanent change, one is called as a formal and informal, and the other one is called as cognitive and emotional, and the last one is called as continuous and process. Okay, so let's suspend a question here before I go any further to you. Is learning always intentional, or can a person have an experience without learning anything from it? What is your thought? As we always do the interaction, so I would please invite you to do the interaction. Is learning always intentional, or can a person have an experience without learning anything from it? Any one of you who
Sir, not
substitute?
always intentional. Sometimes by mistake we learn something.
Yeah. So sometimes it is the experience which comes first, and sometimes the learning comes first. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Absolutely
And
right.
which one
Yes,
is the
sir.
preferred? Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah, please go ahead. You're saying something? Hello? So between the experience and learning, because something sometimes it comes from the experience, sometimes it comes from learning. Which one is more preferred according to you? The first or the second? Coming from experience or coming from learning?
Sir, experience is one thing, and coming from sometimes from our lesson, we get also something to know. Experience wise, sir, we develop things as of a knowledge. If I am learning something today, tomorrow I am seeing another side of it. So there are multiple choices on there. So I can say that I'm upgrading on the experience that I'm learning. So experience, I think, holds the best part. Yes, sir.
Right. So it's a perspective, and you are absolutely right in what you said. So therefore, what happens is when it comes to cognitive and emotional, okay, sometimes experiences really work. But if you look at something like a permanent change, probably learning will work better. Sometimes if you look at continuous process, is something which is a mix of both. And formal and informal, well, we all know so well that it works through a learning process. Okay. Now, now I want to, trigger a question to all of us. Why do we say that it is so nice to learn from an experienced person instead of going this statement we make, right? Why do we make this statement? Is it because an expression or is it of a real value?
Uh, it might be that the person knows much well of a current situation or something that has happened to him, so that we can learn that what he learned from it and what were the pros, cons, and all. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you so much. So instead of you trying to reinvent the wheel, you quickly try to learn that experience in such a short time, which the person would have otherwise learned in over years. Okay. And that is the beauty of learning from the right person, that experience within a short while and applying it on the ground in execution, right? So you said it. Thank you so much. I'm just making it a little more thought provoking to all of us. So, acquiring a particular knowledge or learning, having the right kind of a behaviors in place is the act of learning. And learning is anyway self. It is not that it is external, it is internal. So, as long as the trainee or the participant or the learner is actually going through that, he never or she never learns. So, learning is not actually happening at the end of the classroom or in the the faculty or the teacher or the facilitator. It's actually happening at the learner's end, is the point which I want to draw. So the way to design the content, the context, the delivery, the structure is extremely important in training, because then only the learning is going to happen. What you do is training, but what the learner goes through is the learning. So this is the beauty of it. So the training on the other side looks like learning. Just look at that. Yeah. And that is the beauty of the game. So what is the definition and nature of learning? Now that we talked about learning, okay. So you look at one of the famous authors who has been dwelling, has been delving into it for quite a time. And he says that learning is defined as a relatively permanent change in behavior, cognition, or skill that arises from experience or practice. It is dynamic and continuous process. And that is how an acquisition or reinforcement or reflection or a transformation happens in terms of a knowledge, behavior, skill, attitude, values, or preferences. So preferences are also equally important, by the way. So many times people don't talk about it, because I might be having a very strong preference of one over the other, and over my experience of understanding things better, my preferences would change. And that happens to all of us. Maybe from a small element in life, whether it's something related to a food, or in terms of a setting, or in terms of an environment, or in terms of a culture, or in terms of a workplace. It can be all of them, it can be some of them, it can be one of them. So that's precisely how we all get conditioned over time. So how does a prior knowledge shape the way we approach to new learning experiences? I hope you know what I'm talking about, because we all have I think the first thing which happens to any one of them is resistance. Resistance to change. If you're asking me what is resistance as a word, it doesn't stand any independent meaning. But if you infer that and create an inference, then resistance to change is what we're talking about. So my question is around that. So how does prior knowledge, something which is probably you have learned. So let me give you an example. Let's say you have learned something in 2020. Does it work in 2026? What is your thought? Some
No, sir.
concept.
Some thoughts
Sorry.
doesn't match, as the thing which was correct 20, at the age of 20 and in here might differ in many places.
Yeah. Because the environment is changing fast, the landscape is changing very fast, and we are switching in a very fast pace. And what used to change in 5 years' time now is changing in a 1 year time and probably in 6 months' time. So it's catching up speed. So what holds good in 2020 is not holding good in 2026. So a prior knowledge of something you had in 2020 is something which you can't sustain with it, but you have to learn something new in add-on or in its right. So I think the person here, what we're indicating, what are the 2, 3 words which I'm actually trying to get out of this? That the person has to be very, very dynamic. Adaptable is one of the word under dynamic. Both in terms of mental and physical, or and that's very important. And of course, you know, challenging the premise all the time, and inquisitive and curiosity to learn more, or curiosity to keep himself or herself abreast with the changes. Now, only then you will be able to really bring that definition and learning in the new way, the new learning experiences around it. There are many facilitators I've seen, or many faculty who don't upgrade themselves, but they go into a training. So their examples are very outdated, or they're not relevant, or they are not able to connect. So what happens is the learning gets disconnected there. There used to be ad. It's called as fill it, shut it, forget it. Can you tell me which ad it is? Can you tell me which ad would that be? fill it, shut it, forget it?
Maruti?
Have an idea? You may, if you are very, very kind of a, you have backtracked in 2 times and you have seen something. The first time in India and elsewhere, the Hero Honda brand was launched. And there was a small ad and a caption, fill it, shut it, forget it. You're getting the point, right? Now, if I use that example in today's training, do you think it's going to work in a relevance of time?
No, sir. No, sir. It won't.
See, because you will not be even aware of that particular advertisement because it has been sometime way back. So when I say that, it is very disconnecting. So I should be talking to you right now something about which is more in current times. For that matter, I need to be upgraded, updated. For example, if I talk about Swiggy, you know, or a pizza, even McDonald's is outdated, right? McDonald's was so much of craze in India. KFC. Today, you find those outlets are working absolutely not having that crowd pulling anymore because it's not working. So, therefore, that is what I meant by that the adaptability of learning is subject to also the landscape of what is to be learned. And that is the linkage which we're talking about here. Let's go a little down the line and then talk about this question. Uh, so, training is a subset of learning. You agree? You don't agree?
Yes, sir.
You do.
I agree,
Okay.
sir.
But can learning happen without any training at all? Or do you think it can be possible?
No,
Is that
sir.
the other way around?
No, sir.
In fact, as sometimes even at home or even otherwise, in an informal chat, in an informal discussion, somebody is actually learning. I'm sure you all have observed, noticed. So there is no formal structure, formal attire, or a formal setting, or a formal discourse of thought or framework. So how is that possible? That's the beauty of learning. Learning actually happens all the time. Now, it is not restricted to training. So, that is what we keep saying. People who are observant actually learn all the time. And that is the best part of the game. So, in self learning, one of the key components is observation. And observation is the key for learning all the time. So, if you look at the definition, the structured process to impart specific skills is more of training, but a broader one is acquiring in terms of application or in terms of values or attitude of a person. I think it's more to do with learning because it's more self. Training is more, you cannot say self because you don't know. I want to ask some question to some of you here. What is the difference between training, facilitation, presentation, according to you? Training, facilitation, and presentation. Do you think there is a difference in terms of context, content, and methodology and delivery? Is there a difference? I've given you 4 components: content, context, methodology, and delivery. Please take a note. And I'm saying the difference between training, facilitation, and presentation. So let's go to the first one. Training, is there how much percentage you want to attach to content in training? Is it 50-50 or is it 100? How do you want to distribute it? 50%? In training, what should be the level at which the content should be actually prepared for training? Is it 50%? Is it 75%? Is it 100%? Or is it below 50%? What is your answer?
75%.
Okay, good. And in facilitation,
So I think that depends on how much we put in the effort. The
Yeah,
effort
so
we more we try in training, the more we must try on the other side also.
correct. But my question is in absolute format that if training needs 75% of content, then how much does facilitation need?
I think the rest amount, 25%.
So I know, what you're struggling with there is content is derived in a facilitation or is it that pre-prepared?
Content is pre-prepared, I think.
Hmm. Content is never pre-prepared. Content
Yeah.
is derived in facilitation.
Yeah.
The context is set in facilitation, which is very high. But in training, the context is also set almost the same. But what happens in presentation is that content decided previously? If so, how much? What is the percentage? Like, say, training 75%, which you said. How much is that? You would like to give a percentage to that or a percentile to it? In a presentation, you go prepared, no, to give a presentation to the audience. Do you ask anything from the audience? It is a monologue. Is it a dialogue in presentation? It's a monologue. Please note. So the content is what? 100%, 75%, 50%. What is your takeaway? Yeah? Anyone? I mean, you
I think,
can.
sir, on
It's
listening to on this, I
In
think the
presentation, it will be
content is more
75%.
important.
yeah. So it's 100%. It's
Yeah.
100% is the content.
Without the
And the
content,
context.
we cannot even train or do something.
Yeah. Because you go prepared with the content 100% there. Training is 75% because you want to still tweak it. But in facilitation, it is zero. Context, all of them are contextualization, facilitation is very high. Training and presentation is low. What is the third one which I told? Structure. The structure in facilitation is very different that of training. Why? Because you use a different framework in facilitation because you start asking question, gallery of ideas from people, make them to participate. You have a lot of effort. I think what Shivji was mentioning before is to saying that you just need to make them involved, and it's a huge effort
Yes, sir.
to bring them into the process, which is not the case in training or presentation. So in presentation, you don't even know if the audience is listening to you. You don't even know if whatever you want to communicate them is whatever they have understood. In other words, what I mean to say is what you want them to understand and what they have understood may not be the same. I hope you understand what I'm saying. What you want them
Yes,
to
sir, absolutely.
understand and what they understood may not be the same. So you don't know, you don't have any control in that. So, and the structure is therefore 50-50. In training also it's 50-50. I really don't know how many of you are listening to me even when I'm doing the session now, except for some of you who are interacting with me. The others, I don't know if you are in multitasking also, because I am not getting any sense of it. So this is exactly what happens in training, that you don't have a control of the learners, whether they are actually tweaked and tuned into the entire process. Whereas in facilitation, they have to. So the beauty of the game is training and presentation look alike, whereas facilitation is not. And the last one is methodology. The methodology of training is again 50-50. Whereas in facilitation, it's 50-50. Whereas in presentation, it is 100. There is no methodology. It's just that you say the audience are there, I start my PPT. And then I start giving Bhashan Baji. I give Gyan session. And I don't even know. It is completely on. No interaction. And no necessity of interaction. And finally, you say there will be a Q&A session for 10 minutes. So if you want to ask question, you can ask. That's it. So many people choose not to ask. So it dies its own natural death. So the purpose is very different from training to facilitation to presentation. Same way here, the purpose for training and learning is different. Now I'm crafting these two into those three. And the duration, yes, it's only going to be worst as it goes for a longer period of time in terms of presentation. In terms of facilitation, the longer time brings you more clarity, more crystallization into actions. Whereas in training, it only brings more effectiveness if more time is given for an activity for learning and more in terms of the insights. So it holds good for training and facilitation long term. But short term is exactly what is, anyone who actually does a presentation more than 10 minutes, the audience is disconnected. I was in Australia. I must tell you the story. I mean, this nice little story, which I have learned myself. I was in Australia and when I was a Wipro and vice president, and I used to meet the clients, which is natural of my role. So the clients used to say that is it possible that I can I just take this call and then I come back to you? I'll just put you on to mute. Please give me
Yes.
2 minutes.
Sir, you are not audible, sir.
He is in mute mode, भाई. Sir, mute रे अचंती.
Okay, okay.
I'm extremely sorry. Hello? Hello?
Okay, sir, no problem.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
sir.
Yes,
No,
sir.
no, no, no. No, it's not like that. I have an emergency call coming in from actually overseas, so I got hung up into the call. I'm so sorry. I do some consulting assignments and training only, so that is how there was something which came up where I could not avoid the call. I'm extremely sorry for this. Uh,
Sir,
so,
no problem.
so where I was coming back to tell you is in Australia. There was a time when I was getting into this, and the person on the other side was a client. And then I made a very beautiful presentation. It was only 10 slides, and we were supposed to be over coffee. He told me, Mr. Prakash, you have the presentation, right? So the first question he asked me is, who made this presentation? I said, obviously, I have made. He said, no, no, your team would have done, or is it that, you actually have done it? No, I said, no, it is very much my thought and my articulation, and probably I've taken team support to do the slides of some of them, but then I understand everything. He said, can I tell you something? Because we are sitting in a restaurant and over a coffee, and I would be very happy if I would be able to listen to you rather than going through those digital slides, which I am actually woke up in watching those on the screens because we have gone through so many PPTs. It would be wonderful if you can actually do storytelling and present it. That would be the wonderful thing to happen. So it was like a do or die situation for me. I never expected that the client is going to say this to me. So what I'm trying to tell you is I had to switch off and I could not open the laptop, and I had to go on uh, giving the presentation without the slide to the person face to face with the smile, and also watching his expressions and his body language and the interruption and also the etiquette over the table or in terms of following all these things. So what I'm trying to say is that I had to suddenly get back to the new way of adapting of a presentation to be done to a human being versus to a human being rather than bringing any technology or a digital technology into the play. So, this was this is what happened. Am I audible to all of you now?
Yeah, yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Absolutely.
Perfect. So, are you able to appreciate that small little analogy which I'm talking about in what happened in Australia? This is in Sydney, if you can just to be more specific in that thing. And the client was Origin, which is an energy account, and it is an E&U, energy and utility account in IT. And I was actually sitting with the director, and he was the one who told me this. So his name is Mark James. So that's what he said. So I just want to bring that. Just give a practical way of understanding to you how actually things work and what happens in the real world is very different from what we actually talk here. Okay. So let me come back to the slide. Is my slide visible to all of you?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
It is.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Because I'm suddenly lost a little, so I'm just trying to crop up onto that. Okay, so we move from the differences of training and learning and into characteristics of learning. Now, again, as we talk about the characteristics, do you think it is critical for success in a workplace? Of course, yes. Now, the reason is very simple that we always keep saying if you have a right attitude and a right bent of mind and a passion to the organization, passion not in terms of passion, but to the organization, I think it's very easy to acquire knowledge because people will support you and make you to learn. So you have to be a good team player. And the second thing is in learning, we talk about what is ongoing as a process in terms of certain procedures or processes or policies or whatever SOPs, standard operating procedures, and that calls obviously in terms of your active engagement in the organization. So of course, when we talk about multiple contexts, that's important. So mutually interactive and learner centric. So which I told earlier also. So in characteristics of learning, while doing that, what I said earlier, the content, the context, the methodology, and the structure, it is extremely important that you bring the 6 elements in the way of learning in a structure. Whatever whatever is the design of course which you do. For example, you're designing a communication skill program or a team building program or teaming program, using a psychometric tool. Now it has to capture these elements very carefully and ensure that that is what also is embedded in the learning process for the participant. And you send the signals, you send that underlying messages, and that is also the role of training in the organization. Okay. Now, as we have earlier seen the last module or the unit, the types of learning, types of training, we come back here. Here we are talking about learner centric and a learner. It is motor learning. It can be verbal. It can be concept. It can be discrimination. And I think today's world, all these four of them are basic. Now, it's no more considered as, you know, something very important. Now, if you find 8 of 10 people, they possess this four, expected, underlined. I use this word expected. But if you talk about principles of learning, problem solving, and attitude, well, it's very difficult because problem solving skills are something today's world requires all the time. And if you really want to, yeah, you will appreciate that in our higher education, we do not have anywhere, we don't allow to get into this problem solving mechanism. Now, India as a country is so beautifully placed that we in our lives, from the birth, we have automatically learned problem solving. Because the moment in the morning you get up and suddenly you are inside the bathroom and then you suddenly find that the geyser is not working, there's no hot water. So you have no other option but to go with the cold water. So you learn how to adapt and say that, okay, today I don't have hot water, so I will live with the cold water. So you have adapted. So you have learned how to adapt and you've been conditioned into that. Similarly, you suddenly go and figure out that, you can't warm the food because the current or the power is not there. The gas is also not there. So you adapt how to have a cold food and try and do something and finish it off. So therefore, Indians are very susceptible right from the beginning in the environment of ours. The problem solving is a part of our life. But having said, in higher education, this problem solving is not channelized in a proper way to learn. So what I am trying to indicate to all of you is one side, you know how to live life with problem solving, but the same thing we do not know how to apply in a professional world. That's because our higher education doesn't channelize that into problem solving in the workplace or in the professional world. So this is the gap. Now I'm trying to identify the clear gap. While we have life skills there, but we are not able to apply it here. Similarly, the principles of learning. If you look at India, and if you look at the culture, and if you look at many ways, the kind of if you look at the legacy we come, Indians are supposed to be extremely polite, but today you find that the politeness is not at all there. If you look at India as in terms of the rules and the policies, the number of government policies we have, the whole world is surprised. We have the best policies rolled out in the world, but then the implementation or execution of it is absolutely, not there. It's probably not even 10%. So what is in practice and what is in the document or in policy is not the same. So this is a clear Indian attitude which comes into the picture. So the attitude and attitude learning, or I would also put in this way, the cultural learning is an aspect of great importance in India. I'll give you an example. I was once traveling to Dubai. I was actually Singapore. Even at Dubai also I've been. But so what has happened is this gentleman who was there next to me, he was actually having a chewing gum. And in the escalator at Dubai, at some point in time, he has actually thrown out that chewing gum, taken out from his mouth and stuck it to something. And immediately, what happened? He had to pay a fine of 1,000 dirhams. 1,000 dirhams. Now, dirham is the currency for, Dubai. Now, he dared to do it again. But the same person, when I found him coming to a Bangalore airport where he and I came together, in his pocket there were so many Lindt chocolate, the after eating the chocolate, the kind of covers. He started just emptying the pocket in the middle of the airport while standing in the queue at the immigration, and nobody bothered, and he was fine, and he was jumping the line because he wants to be the first to be getting cleared. He was jumping all over the line, and he was crossing people, and and I asked him, I told him, he looked at me as, what is your problem types? And then he said, it's almost like I'm in my own country, I can do anything I want. The same guy in Dubai, I was there and I saw him, and he was like, subdued. So this is a clear attitude of an individual, which is the problem. I hope you are getting me, and I'm not overemphasizing, but I'm trying to bring the context here. That the attitude of learning and the attitude of following certain things. There are so many people in the queue, but he would jump the queue. And as if his time is his time, and someone else's time is not no time. So he is just like ready to, scoot and, crush up somebody and run out of it. So where we find these issues in learning is more in terms of attitude, in terms of problem solving. Um, you know, the motor skills are definitely an issue. Multitasking is the way India works, but multitasking sometimes doesn't actually is not productive. Now, some of them say multitasking is the best way to go, but then for which one? For what time? So that is where we all have a debate. I just want. So, which type of learning do you use most in your MBA studies, and which one type you do rarely? I mean, what is your answer? Hello.
Yes, sir. Once again.
I'm saying, which type of learning do you use most in your MBA studies, and which type do you rarely use? Which is the question which is there on the slide
Concept
also.
learning is the most, sir. We do the concept
Exactly.
learning.
I think the verbal way when we listen from our teachers and all, that way we learn something, or the way they teach us everything.
Yeah. So
And
again,
we rarely use the problem solving technique.
that's a great point. So that is exactly where you need to in your training or modules, or in delivery, or in the structure, or in the content, you must bring the aspect of, as you rightly said, problem solving, attitude learning, apart from what we all do all the time, as you said before, whether it's verbal learning or concept or motor learning. That is very important, so that it is holistic learning and it is not a partial learning. And that is one key point which we learn from types of learning, that we need to embed them and integrate them, make it inclusive, and that really is having a high impact. You know, that's what is all about, why a training stands to be more valuable over the other training. To be very frank with you, that's what works. That mantra works. So, what are the factors affecting learning? I mean, what are the actual factors which actually roadblocks? What are the roadblocks on this? Well, the roadblocks are personal factors. It can be the motivation and desire to learn. It could be from a learner centric. It could be from the faculty also. Person who is delivering is not passionate. He is doing it more from a point of view of doing a task, or he is just doing it. Why I'm saying this is because it's not using the right example, but also the way you bring this up and you explain, or you actually give a provoking thought. You actually provoke the thought on the other side. That is important. And that's why I'm saying that in learning, it's extremely important how motivated is the trainer and how motivated is the learner. Only then learn. Now, self image, self respect, self control, self empathy, self efficacy, all these words you know. Now, it's very important there. Intuitiveness, all of us have, but I think we need to develop that. And persistence, the whole of India today operates only on follow-up mechanism. If you ask somebody to do one activity they never do it. You have to follow it up. So follow up is the mantra for success in India. I'm not using other countries' name. Please note. So it is a cultural issue here that without follow, nobody will do anything. So again, in your training, now you have to bring the mechanism as a follow through of your training. What is happening? Otherwise, people will say it was a good training because it was a good food and it was very good in terms of seating, and very good crowd was there and we enjoyed the 3 days and then or 2 days or whatever, and then they're happy. But is that the purpose of your training? So you have to bring whether those elements which you really wanted to reinforce, have they been followed up? Are they happening? What changes has it brought in? Are there any new changes, or the changes which have to be incorporated has been taken care? So that study of impact study has to be taking place. Of course, in the personal factors, what kind of a family the learner is coming from, all that matters, because I've seen families where there is a lot of distress. So when they come here, they're always in that world and they're not able to detach their emotions or thoughts from there. So they are still not able to, they come here, but they are not there with you. So what can you expect out of them? Now, that much only, because their mind is already shared. So that shared mind can only take that much of understanding from you. So that is the drawback and personal factor of a learner, and also definitely the person who is delivering. So prior educational background is, of course, very important, especially what kind of a networking, what kind of a people you are in connect does matter, because that is what profoundly comes out in terms of your delivery or in your communication, your ability to flow thoughts to the other side, and so on and so forth. So the organizational factors which side by side are extremely important to make it conducive is something to do with any of these or all of these which you see. It has to be tangible, target centric. It should be having the availability of the right resources in the right place with the job role, and away from the office during the training. Otherwise, it is not going to work, because for every 2 minutes the boss calls them and they step out of the learning. So actually the learning is not taking place. It's a namesake. He's actually working, and so it has to be a non-working day as in terms of office. And most of the trainings, when you do it in the same premises of the office, are not effective, just to inform you that. Okay. Now, coming to the environmental factors, other than what we talked about, personal and if you look at it, socio-economic conditions are important. Technological advancements, of course, as we have been talking all the while. And of course, you want to stay competitive, so landscape is important. Where you are competing, whom we are competing, and where you want to see yourself. Are you on multi-geography, or any kind of a geopolitical pressure which is coming on you? All that matters. And of course, the culture and societal influences does matter, because where you're operating, there are cultural influences. And if you're running in multiple countries, obviously the multicultural aspect of various countries affects your organization. How are you treating it? How are you working on it? Is it geocentric? Is it geospecific? Are you talking it as a local level or a global level? Or are you talking about it as a local level? Now that's very important, because that's how you actually bring in the various aspects to, and come on the flow. For example, you have a team working in Australia, you have a team working in Holland, you have a team working in Singapore, you have a team working in Malaysia, and a team working in India. Now, all of them have to come together to work on a particular project. How are you going to distinguish them? So are you going to do an orientation session? Bring all of them onto one page. So there you need to do a cultural and a societal kind of a cultural program, and make them all as one, team, and then start addressing them, because some are not acceptable to some are acceptable to some. So how are you going to bring them to speed? And they may not agree with you. So their consensus are also important, because otherwise they will not show up with results. So that matters a lot when especially when you're talking about a multi-geography team, it's important. So the question here is, among personal, organizational, and environmental factors, which do you think has the greatest impact on learning outcomes? Learning outcomes, I'm substituting the word, with only outcomes, and or I will say tangible results? What is your answer? Out of the three, which one stands out to create the impact for an outcome? Any answers?
So to me, it is personal factors.
Exactly. The individual is always the most important in the organization. The other two can be handled or can be compromised. But if the individual is not okay, the rest falls out. The absolutely correct answer, sir. Thank you so much. I'm sure all of you will agree until you have something to challenge me or ask me a question or argue on this point. I'm perfectly fine with it because I am a practitioner of this. What I'm actually taking you through the delivery. That's the reason I'm framing absolute realistic challenges which we face on these things. Right? Okay. So let me move to the learning cycle. The learning cycle is where we talk about procure and go for application. And the second we talk about is transform and then consider. So here the question is pretty simple. Let's take it into this question now. Think of a recent learning experience which you had and which stage of the learning cycle you think you were, or was it challenging for you? Which one is challenging for you? Where were you and which was challenging for you? Again, I repeat, where were you and which was challenging for you? Would you like to answer? A recent learning experience, maybe small, maybe an hour, maybe something in a meeting also in your office, in your environment, or it could be a small session online or offline. It could be that much. Any of you would like to take this up as a question?
Sir, I may be wrong, but I think I am learning a language, but applying it is taking is being a challenge for me.
No, it's 90% of the time. The problem is execution and application and apply. It's always the same.
Thank you, sir.
Hello.
Yes, yes.
Sometimes when I'm on my field, I say my employees to do something more productive. But at the time of execution, they do something goes against me. So this is how execution does not work as well as I think.
So execution doesn't work is only for one reason. Can you tell me, sir? What can be that reason? You're right. So what is the reason execution doesn't work well?
The reason is they don't listen well, they act on their own.
Thank you so much. You said, and it was on the dot. The listening is the issue. And in fact, it is called as, I don't know if all of you already know about, must be knowing definitely. It's called as a liqueur. Liquar. Liquer. I'm sorry, not AR. Liquer. You can write. And please write these two alphabets separately. Or if you have a piece of paper in front of you. Li hyphen QEQU and then ER, you please write separately. So what is the first one? Is called as a listening. Li, as you rightly mentioned. Now, this questioning is about progressive questioning in the sense that after listening the context, you will, out of the context which you listen, you actually come out with questions, and these are called as progressive questions. Okay. And then from the progressive questions, you move into the answer. And that is only way you know the person is actually doing empathetically the listening and active listening, not passive listening. And that is very important. So this is a concept which we use in training, which is called as a liqueur, and that's what I wanted to share with you. You are right. Execution fails because of listening. Can I request all of you to do a small exercise of listening at your organizational level, maybe tomorrow, or if it's a Sunday, if it's a Monday, can you do it? Is it okay? Can I ask for and request all of you?
Yeah, sure.
So let me give you the frame. Okay. And then you come back and share with me. Please do. So you do one thing. You there is, okay, so let me come to the framework first. The first one is called as, please write down, content. First word is called as content. I'll explain each one of them so that you can perform it easily. First one is called as content. Okay. The next one is called as intent. Just write down the word. Is it okay? Content, and the next one is intent. INTENT. Third one is called as feeling. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
It's called as CIF. As in code, it is called as CIF, content, intent, and feeling. Okay. Now I'll tell you what is content, what is intent, what is feeling. So I'm going to narrate all of you one small little experience of mine. Okay. So the content, intent, feeling goes like this. I will share my experience with you in about a minute or two, and all of you listening to that should tell me what is the intent I am sharing that experience with all of you, and then you must say what is the feeling which you have gone through and which I am going through. Is it okay? So the first level listening, the level 1 listening is called as content only. The second level listening is called as intent. The third level listening is called as feeling. Okay. Okay. Now, let me tell you how it works in the body of the human being. The content is from the mind. The intent is from the heart. The feeling is from the navel. In Odia, it is called as nabi. Okay. Okay. Content, intent, feeling. So I am told you that if you think from your mind, you just have to tell me whatever I have told. In details, facts, and in terms of dates or time, if I've said that. Okay, that is content. Intent is one sentence. Feeling is only one word. If you do so, it explains how well you were listening to me. And I am the judge because it is my story and it is my experience. So I am going to tell you whether you got me or you did not get me. Is it okay? So the same thing you will do with your set of people, even at home or with your friends, or if you're in an organization, you please do that. Report this to me on Monday, your experiences. So can we do that exercise now? Is it okay with you?
Yes, sir.
Because I'm going absolutely free flow with all of you, because that is the real experience I'm transferring to you. So listen to me very carefully, and it's only 2 minutes. So I was actually studying, Standard 5. And I was in a place which is called as Rayagada, which is the Koraput district of Odisha. And I was studying in a school which is called a Sacred Heart School. And I was staying very close to Rayagada College. One fine day, on the 6th of November, 1978, in the morning 5:30, it so happened that I could not open the doors of my house at all, neither the windows. All over the house, there was a gas, and it was carbon monoxide. I could not free myself, and I was a small boy. Until then, I started screaming, and then the villagers came and broke the grill and then the door. And if that incident was, not that they could come and break my door on that day, I probably would have died. And that has taught me a lesson in my life very early in the age when I was only 5. That life is meant very temporarily and it can go away any minute. So as long as I stay, I commit to, to do what I'm supposed to do. And that made me very disciplined in my life. Thank you so much for listening to me. So anybody who can say the content, what I said, just tell me only the details, as I said. Who will say? Hello? Have I made all of you to sleep? Or you are completely stuck?
No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. I'm not stuck. Just
So please go ahead.
remembering
This is a real story.
everything.
This is a real story of mine, by the way. I'm not trying to camouflage or make some story and tell you. It's a real story. Please tell me. Yeah. Please go ahead. Who's going to share?
I think it would be a bad experience while having no, sir, still can't process.
You're not able to process. Okay. Anybody else who would like to take it on? I mean, we'll try. I mean, that's okay. Anyone
Yes,
who
sir.
wants to try?
Yes, sir. I think it is your experience to learn a life lesson at a very young age. So
Hmm.
you wanted to tell about that. Second thing is maybe about destiny. So you were always ready to find the ready to face the destiny, good or bad. That may be the content.
So this is a
Or
content which you said,
or in
madam.
short, sir,
Learn from mistake.
But this isn't content, sir. This can be intent or feeling, but this is
Fantastic.
not
Thank you so much, sir. This
content.
is what madam said is the intent.
Yeah.
the
Okay.
content, sir, in content, I would say a bad experience might suit it.
No, that wouldn't
No, that
qualify as
actually.
content.
So let me give
Content
you
is
the
the
cue, sir.
facts what sir has
Adjective.
described.
You can say
Sir.
adjective. Feeling is always adjective, sir. Madam and sir, please note, feeling is always adjective. So does the mistake which you said, does it fit into adjective? No. So what is the adjective? I am giving you a cue there.
Feeling is helplessness.
Exactly. Thank you so much. Wonderful. So you were actually listening to me. That is the third level of listening. Level 3 is called as the Nabi listening, the navel, So you see, you did feel me there. And that's why you said, what did you say?
Helplessness.
Helplessness. I thought I will die actually. To be very honest with you, I thought that I mean I'm dead.
But I
And
missed the
when I saw
content, sir.
life coming back to me, it was a gift for me. Because I never knew that I'm going to be alive. I already decided nobody is going to do any help to me, and I will have to do, be congested like this, and I will actually die of this, inhaling the smoke, and I will actually end my life. And this is a 5 years kid he's talking about, right? Okay. So what is the content? So fantastic. We got a fantastic intent understanding, feeling understanding, level 2, level 3. Perfect. What is level 1?
Content.
Yeah.
I
Mushkil
think
ho raha hai
everyone
aapko.
missed the content, sir.
Yeah. What's the content?
Because the storytelling was so intent, we lost the content at the end.
So you mean to say that I'm a good storyteller? Thanks so much.
Of
But
course, sir,
anyway,
of course you are.
main Okay, thanks a lot for that. But I'll tell you the content. Make it easy for all of you. The content is that one fine morning on such and such date, which was the 6th of November, whatever, 1976, or 78. This incident happened, and this is where I was filled with, the doors and windows got closed, and I got sealed out there. And therefore, thought of not getting rescued. And then there are a set of people who actually were in the neighborhood who broke down the door and the grill and then came back and rescued me. That's content. That's content.
So I think, sir, just now what you said is aftermath of what happened after the incident.
Yeah, but then I narrated, no, sir. You're right. You're right that it's an aftermath. But what I'm saying is, I never narrated in the content what happened previously. I only said one fine morning, this is what is the occurrence, and this is how there was a gas, all over the place, and then I was completely, caught up in that, and I could not open the windows and doors, and that is what I told, and I narrated the same thing. So the same thing comes back as content because I never told you. So if you talk about anything prior to that, that means you are actually creating a story around it. The real story which I told, in that it is not there. So if you tell, that means you are actually incorporating your own story into my story. You got the point.
Yes, sir.
The
So
childhood,
that is, sorry, yeah.
the childhood experience would be the content.
Yeah, definitely it
No,
is in childhood. So
childhood,
7,
I would say. I think
when I
rather than
was,
that,
sorry, tell me, sir.
I think, sir, it would be more like I could suggest childhood not.
It's not a childhood experience. See, here I mentioned the age also. What was my age?
5 years, sir.
Which class
No,
I'm studying?
no, that
Class
was
was
class
five.
5. Class
And
was
then
5.
Sorry,
which
class was
school
5.
I'm studying? Which school I'm studying? Was
Sacred
studying?
Heart, Sacred Heart
Correct.
School, Rayagada.
And which district was I there?
Rayagada, sir.
Ragada.
And
District
Rayagada is not a
actually,
district.
at that
Koraput is a
time, it
district.
was district Koraput. Now it is Rayagada district.
Now it's Rayagada district. So that's why I said Koraput district, and then I said in a place called as Rayagada. Then I said my school. So all this will come in the content. That is
And the
important.
school was nearer to Rayagada College. You also mentioned that, sir.
That I mentioned. No, my place, my residence was next
Okay,
to
your residence is, yes, sir.
so that bit of listening,
I
you got it. Yeah, right.
I remember
Anything, sir,
two
you
names, sir,
said.
Sacred Heart School and Rayagada College.
So correct. So both are right. It's just that I was staying next to Rayagada College, and then my school was Sacred Heart School. So you got me right there. It's just that a little bit of extension of that would get you there. So your listening was correct. Just a little bit of tweaking of that would have been great. Both of you. Fantastic. So you like this exercise? So do one thing. You do the same thing with all your team members or family members, and you will understand how good are they at listening. And you will be surprised that it is not. They find it difficult. Actually, it is true to all of us that we are not good listeners. Until I met some of these people like the Japanese or the Germans, I realized that actually we do good listening. But I then realized that, and even the Americans also are very good listeners. They play the world on that only. They are not good in terms of technicality. They are not best in that, but they are very good people managers because they listen what they want to listen. So that is they do selected listening. Selective listening they do, not active listening also. But they are very clear. Even I told you the Australian thing, which I did the presentation, he exactly was trying to listen to me with a smiling expression and he was just getting at the point of what he wanted to listen from me and he captured it. And on the napkin, which is on the table, he picked up and he started writing those 2, 3 points and then given to me and said, "Can you please elaborate a little more on these 3 points?" And that was the way after the presentation, that is the next thing which happened. So it was a wonderful experience and a very insightful thing for me. First time I realized that the laptop is not required for presentation. And now today, I actually don't do presentation without laptops, but actually it is wrong. I actually started doing without presentation, without the slides, without the laptop, and people like it because you become a extremely good narrator, orator, storyteller, whatever you want to say. And I think you pick up the skills because only when something is not there with you, you learn how to make yourself better. If it is always there with you, remember, you will always be dependent on it, like the mobile phone. I don't know if I'm overpowering you or I'm actually
No, sir.
making you
No, sir.
fast.
You're doing the right thing. Sir,
When
if
we
everyone
used to
might be the
remember
listener,
all the
then
numbers of friends and relatives, now even we don't remember the phone number of our relatives also.
Exactly. In fact, you said it so beautifully. It's so true that I don't remember my daughter's mobile number, to be very honest with you. Because my mobile, just I open and say, it is Pallavi, and immediately I get her number. So I just I dial it out. You're absolutely right. Numbers we don't actually remember until what we want to remember. I always ask people, can you remember your bank account number? Can you remember your PAN card number? Can you remember how many bank account numbers? Can you remember your Aadhaar card number? Many of them today, you do this exercise, you'll figure that actually out of 10, probably if 1, 2 will turn out, it will be really great. So such kind of
I think
exercises actually.
in
Yeah, sorry.
in the current society where we were living, no, I think don't think there are much listeners. There are much speakers rather than that.
Yeah, very true. So how to actually balance between the two is the part of the game. You have to be also telling, but at the same time you should be listening. So how to manage these two is the art of doing thing. But the science says that you just have to do two, but doing both together is the art of doing it, and that's what I have been able to gather. And I request all of you, if you can, in the Kindle or in the PDF or otherwise a bookstore, you can buy this. You can just go through this small book. It's available in the PDF format. The best thing about you is you. Because in the world, actually, you don't love anyone. Who is the person whom you love the most? Any guesses?
About myself.
Exactly. So that is what this book is called as. The best thing about you is you. The book name, the title, is called as The Best Thing About You Is You. And it is written by an extremely well-known person to all of us. And we have laughed over him for several films. And he is a very well-renowned figure in Bollywood. His name is called as Anupam Kher. Please read the book. He is a very learned guy. You know that he is from London School of, so he is extremely good. So please read the book, and you would actually get a lot of insights from there. If you really are passionate of trying to read people, trying to understand people, communicate with people, I certainly recommend you to please do that. Right? Thank you for making the session so interesting. You made me really surprised to get into that. So thanks a lot for that. So I'll just come to the conclusive part of this presentation so that we disengage from here. And please do that exercise before we get to the next one. I'm actually traveling tomorrow. Otherwise, I was about to take a session. So I'm not there. So let me come to the next one. So principles of adult learning is the next one which we talk about. Principles of adult learning and andragogy. Now, here I've already mentioned to you, this is coming from Malcolm Knowles. He says that the learner takes a more active role in directing their own learning. The teacher's role is only for a facilitator, guiding adults in applying their life experience. I think we have been experiencing while we are still online. But I think in some way you are experiencing, and I'm also experiencing what he says as a principle, and it works. But I think the most important thing is who the person you are matters a lot. It's not about what you possess, what you have, what degree you come from, what pedigree you come from, but how you actually can make yourself conduct matters a lot in the real world. Okay. So the key differences of pedagogy from child learning to adult learning is the learner role that's more passive in the child state, but it is more active because there's a realization bit as to why you have come and what for, and more goals are defined either by the individual or by the organization. So that's why. And the teacher role or the facilitator's role, as it says that, it is more authority figure when it comes to school. So you're out of fear or out of coercion or out of commitment, compliance, marks, whatever. So you do that. But in adult learning, it's more about, how you have been taken through that and whether you've been facilitated. Otherwise, you don't actually give in or you don't give in yourself. So motivation, often it is depends on mark sheets and grade sheets and stuff like that. But here it is primarily on whether can I get the opportunity what I'm dreaming? Can I really get there? Is it really going to work? Am I doing the right thing? So learning style is more content focused. Here it is problem centered. And that is the difference between the two, because the organization is conducting this training program because of clearly identified areas, and that is to do with problem centered or problem solving. So content here is more often disconnected from real world. I remember, I don't know why I studied moral science in the class. I don't understand why did I study social studies. And today I'm not using any of them. And all of them are related to Babur, Akbar, and something something in history. So that history which I studied is nothing related to modern history. It is all to do with some other AD. So I really don't know why I studied that. Instead, if I would have been taken on a camp to a tour by the school and shown all these various things which are there in India in a 15 days tour, probably I would have registered instead of reading the book. So, the kind of learning or the medium of learning was so wrong. Book over a travel. And that is what I felt. It was like throbbed on us. It was just, forced on us. So in adult, what happens is it's highly relevant, practical, real world, because you show them everything live, hands-on experience. You tell them that, otherwise they'll not come to you. So they demand, so they are more outspoken compared to the child. Assessment, of course, it is standardized tests and grades, and then self-assessment, practical application, right? So that's what it takes place. So with this, probably I'll come to the end of this particular session. And I think today that session which we covered, as you know, we were talking about the concepts of training and learning, learning and its techniques and how do we go about it. So that's what we've done. So let's see, how we go into the next session. But I would request all of you to do one favor, one small request. By the time I come to the next session, please do this listening, questioning, and answer. In other words, content, intent, and feeling, and I'll get back to you. And please share. How was it your experience with your family members? People who are listening. One could be for content, one could be for intent, one could be feeling. And then you rotate. So all four of you can share four kind of experiences or stories and then figure out how. So that will be a practice. And in that process, you will understand. Either with 4 employees or 4 family members, you can do that. Informally also you can do it. It hardly takes any time as much as what we did. Okay. Is it fine? Any questions
Yes,
you
sir.
have? Any questions you have? By doing this, listening will increase or listening will improve. That's the whole game. And I will tell you a little more as we go edge into that. And then tell you and play one more game. Maybe the next time we connect, we'll do that. I intend to take a 2-hour session. So I'll actually play one game with you live. And let's see how you enjoy and respond to that. We'll do that. All right. So thank you so much. I think it's near time, more time. We are at 7:34. We come to the end of the session. We are in the third unit we have completed. We'll go to the fourth one and finish the first block. But then that is not very important. What's important is how your takeaway and what you have got insights. That will be wonderful to listen to you. So thank you and good night. Thank you for your participation once again. And Shabak here.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bye-bye. I'm
Thank
logging
you, sir.
out there.
Thank you,
Thanks.
sir.
Thanks. Thank you so much.
Hello, students. Good evening.
Good evening, madam.
Namaste, madam.
Good evening,
Namaste,
ma'am.
madam.
Good evening, namaskar. Break दरकार ना now break नियंतुनी continue करिवा ना
Pani
Continue
glass
कर
with.
continue करें हम लोग.
पियंतु okay, wait a moment. See, yesterday we have discussed slide देखा जाउची पिला माने मु clearly सुबा जाउची.
Yes, madam.
Yes.
Okay. See, yesterday we have discussed Factories Act 19 and Factories Act, no, as per the new labor code. So based on this, we have discussed many things related to Factories Act. Like we have discussed some important definition related to Factories Act as per the new labor code. Apart from this, we are there in the what health, safety and working conditions chapter, right? So in the health, safety and working condition chapter, so earlier this thing, the entire things was there, but what happened now? It is there in a one section. जोटा कि हमरो गोटे सेक्शन रे एटा को कंबाइन करा जाय छै जोटा कि सेक्शन 23, right? So health safety earlier basically it केते थिला section 21 to 41, but now it is there in a one section. So overall, dear students, in the every factory what I told you yesterday, every factory, they have to, as per the new labor code, they have to clean and maintain hygiene properly through every day through sweeping and mopping, right? Apart from this, the factory have to maintain proper ventilation and temperature and humidity, right? So for that, the factory have to provide plenty of the window, doors, and skylight facility so that the proper ventilation should be there, and the factory have to maintain the temperature in case of the hot summer, right? For the humidification. Apart from these, the point 3 said environment free from dust, any kind of harmful gas, and fumes at other any kind of like impurities is there in the factory. The factory have to maintain that. It means the factory have to provide, though the second number point said proper ventilation the factory have to provide. So basing on this, if any kind of dust, any kind of harmful gas and fumes are there, so it must be through proper ventilation, it must be removed properly inside the factory, right? And the factory maintain clean and hygiene. Apart from these, see the 4.8, the factory have to maintain humidification. Again, the standard of humidification artificially increase the humidity of the air. It means, see, in the summer season, what? No, though the humidity, it is there in the environment, that is the natural humidity, humidification, right? But here said, now artificial humidification. Now, artificial humidification means what? See, those people are working nearest the fire, those people are working in a nearest the hot machinery. In that particular area, some kind of artificial humidification, it may occur. Generally ଆମେ କହିବା ଆମ ଘରର କିଚେନ ଆଉ ଅଦର ରୁମ ଦେଖିବେ, ଅଦର ରୁମ ର ଟେମ୍ପରେଚର ଟା ଯେତେ ଥିବ କିଚେନ ର ଟେମ୍ପରେଚର ଟା ଡେଫିନେଟଲି ଟିକେ ଅଧିକ ଥିବ. Why? Because ଆମର ସେଠି କଣ ଅଛି, generally activities in front of the fire, right? So case of then what? The artificial humidification. Those people are working nearest the fire and hot machinery. So the factory have to provide the proper cooling facility. Cooling room, it may be air conditioned, or it may be fan, or it may be proper ventilation, or it may be cooler facility as per the requirement of that particular area. The factory have to maintain that, said by the Factory Act, right? Apart from these, point number 5 said potable drinking water. See, aguru thila drinking water. Drinking water ପାଇଁ ବହୁତ ସାରା rules, regulation, term, condition ରଖା ଯାଇଥିଲା. ଏଇନା କହିଲା କଣ ନା potable drinking water said, drinking water said, no, the factory have to, what? It means the clean and hygienic drinking water. That is the basically purified drinking water. The factory have to provide the clean, hygiene, and purified drinking water towards the workers, right? Aguru kon thila? Na factory have to provide drinking water, sufficient drinking water towards the workers. And if more than 50 workers are working over a factory, then the factory have to provide cooling drinking water facility. जोटा कि ठंडा पानीय जलर provision करिबो. But एइना सेटाको पूरा combine कर देकी कहला potable drinking water, it means basically na the factory have to provide purified and hygienic drinking water towards the workers, जोटा कि बहुत भलो क्वालिटी रो वाटर दबो लोकन को, हैला. Then section the 6.8, the factory have to provide, no, maintain the prevent overcrowding, right? But if the overcrowding things are there, crowd means kona gahali hoba, bhida hoba. Overcrowding means bahut bhida, right? So agar thila before 1948 Factories Act, Factory Act said 1948 पूर्व thila kon thila na to maintain overcrowding one person to another person, the gap must be 9.9 cubic meter, right? Well, the Factory Act 1948 came, then the Factory Act said, 1948 said, for one person to other person, the space must be 14.2 cubic meter. ସେଟାକୁ ବଢେଇ ଦେଲା 9.99 14.2 cubic meter ଆମର ରହିବା ଦରକାର କହିଲା. ଏଇନା କହିଲା ନା the factory have to provide to maintain overcrowding sufficient space. It is highly essential while the employees are working in that particular area. जोटा कि सेई एरिया रे क्राउड को जेमती हबनी so sufficient space must be there. First for 9.9 cubic meter space, then 14.2 cubic meter space. Now it is a sufficient space must be required for one person to other person so that we can avoid the overcrowding. Right? Then apart from these, next point said adequate lighting. पिलामाने को पूरा मन रखी केमती explain करिवे हैला बहुत शॉर्ट रे स्मॉल रही आपको सुंदर भाव मन रखिदेवे adequate lighting facility it said now factory have to provide no plenty of no what the door window and other kind of things so that the natural light it must be enter over the factory, right? And the windows skylight door it must be maintained clean, देखो पोछा पोछी करी सफा रखिबो जोटा कि लाइट टा नेचुरल लाइट फैक्ट्री भीतर को एंटर करि पातबो and in an interior place those the natural light it may not be there, then the factory have to provide plenty of artificial light. Everywhere the artificial light is highly essential, but in that interior area where the natural light cannot be passed, in that area the artificial light, plenty of artificial, sufficient artificial light is highly essential. So adequate lighting system over the factory is highly essential to avoid any kind of problems, right? Sufficient arrangement of latrines, urinal and accommodation, urinal accommodation to male, female and transgender. See, agora bhi thila kon pila mane na sufficient latrine and urinal facility jota ki separate for male and female worker रखा जाइथिला, but latrine and urinal facility if in a factory the more than 250 workers are working, the factory have to provide sanitary waste latrine and urinal facility सेटा provision थिला. But now कोन कहिला गोटिए फैक्टर जॉइन कर देला आगरो ट्रांसजेंडर कांसेप्ट नथिला कोठी भी, but now एटी प्रत्येक स्टेप रे आपण देखिबे ट्रांसजेंडर रे गोटे सेपरेट येटा ऐड करा जाइछि जोटी की sufficient arrangement for latrines, urinals for male, female and transgender employees separately, maintaining hygiene and clean and hygiene it is highly essential. So latrine and urinal it have किछि number of केते number थिले से सब हटै देला. Now sufficient latrine and urinals the factory have to provide as per the requirement of the people. तामाने 500 जन रे गोटे latrine urinal दबो ना 100 जन रे गोटे latrine urinal दबो. No, as per the rules regulation of the state and central government, the factory have to provide and separate for male, female and transgender. Right? Effective arrangement for treatment of waste and effluents. It means see, first step रे हमर कोन थिला cleanliness. After cleanliness, no, so through sweeping and mopping, definitely what the some waste and effluents must be there. Now it is the responsibility of the factory. The factory have to dump the all the no effluents and waste things in a particular area. For that ajika date रे आपण मन देखुचंती हमर municipality केमती गोटे blue डब्बा गोटे yellow color गोटे green color different for wet things, for dry things, no. So for that the factory have to no dispose in a particular area, gote particular area de dispose karibo all the waste and effluents after cleanliness of the factory or after anything, no. Hela pila mane hello.
Yes, ma'am.
हाँ नहीं नहीं मोर कॉल आस्तिला तो मु कहली काले कटि गला हैला तापर चलंतु. So arrangement of treatment of wasted effluents, then any other arrangement which the central government consider appropriate. So एठी कोन कहूची जदि आउ किछि extra जदि दरकार as per the rules of the central government, as per the rule of the government, no government of India central government, then the factory must be maintained that. So this much, dear students, what already I told you, the health safety, it is a very, no, it is there in a section 23, no, the responsibility of the employer to maintain the factory in such a manner so that every worker, they can feel very, they can work very smoothly and any kind of, no, any kind of danger, any kind of, no, threat, any kind of accident should not be there. So the fact it is a responsibility of the occupier. Also, we can call it as an employer. It is everything. It is there in the section 23 now. It is very easy chapter right now. So you have to remember this and you have to explain this. Yes, now students got it now.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
madam. This is the chapter
Okay.
5 of the code.
हाँ चैप्टर 5 मु चैप्टर आगु काई कहलिनी कहले मु कहले चैप्टर आगु कहले आउरी कंफ्यूजन हो कि मु चैप्टर को कहलिनी एटा चैप्टर 5 रा आपण
Yes, madam.
मानकर
Chapter 5 contains
न्यू
only
लेवल
one section, is section
हाँ
23.
23 यस तो आकु सुंदर भाबरे मन रखिबे थैंक यू तापर चलंतु वेलफेयर प्रोविजन हैला वेलफेयर प्रोविजन आगुरु थिला हमर हेल्थ सेफ्टी वेलफेयर वेलफेयर प्रोविजन थिला सेक्शन 50 सेक्शन 42 टू सेक्शन 50 राइट इट्स ए स्मॉल चैप्टर थिला एना मध्ये स्मॉल चैप्टर अछि जहा जहा थिला सेया ही अछि बट टिकेट एटा को कोन करछि आगुरु सेक्शन 42 रु 50 रे थिला एना नाउ इट इज सेक्शन ओनली वन सेक्शन सेक्शन 24 एटा हला आपनको चैप्टर 6 चैप्टर रे रखिला हला तो चैप्टर को इठा कहिलेनी सो it is जोटा कि only section 1 section covered under the welfare provision but earlier it was section 42 to section 50 जोटा कि गोटे गोटे step by step पढ़े पढ़े मासतले but now it is in a one section ठीक है so welfare facility of the establishment in the factory or in the establishment and again it is the responsibility of the occupier and the employer have to provide proper welfare facility towards the workers and the employees right तो चलंतु एटी कौन कहिला ना in the welfare facility every establishment they have to provide the factory have to provide point number 1 said factory have to provide sufficient washing facility means adequate suitable facility for washing male female of male and female employees separately washing facility no so it basically the factory have to provide the proper washing facility जो ये माने wash करि परिबे तांकर कोन cloth को wash करिवे no so जो cloth को wash करिबा पई कहि के separate for male and female worker the factory have to provide the adequate washing facility apart from these no after the washing facility apart from these the bathing facility is also highly essential the factory have to provide separate bathing facility for male female and transgender right it जोटा कि मु कोन कहली ट्रांसजेंडर आगुरु कोठी भी नथिला बट एने प्रति स्टेप रे ट्रांसजेंडर को गोटे सेपरेट माने ता पे गोटे सेपरेट सब जिंस प्रोवाइड करा जिबा नियाती दरकार जोटा कि एज पर द न्यू रूल्स राइट so bathing facility for male worker separate for the male worker female worker and transgender employee apart from this the locker room separate for male female and transgender employee जोटा कि मैं हाईलाइट कर देछि ता माने factory have to provide the washing facility bathing facility and locker room facility right in the welfare provision and after washing the cloth while the workers they will not while they will wash the cloth then after that definitely the factory have to provide the sufficient place so that they can dry their cloth washing pore kon karibo drying the cloth drying then after jitile dry kariba then the factory have to provide the place the in a lock jota ki semane कोड रखिबे से ये को in a locker room ta mane washing facility storing and drying facility storing washing facility then drying facility then after the storing facility of the cloth in a locker room right so एटा पूरा factory सुंदर भाबरे देथिबो separate for male female and transgender employee ठीक है apart from these sitting arrangement those workers are working continuously in a standing position right continuously in a standing position for that the factory have to provide the sitting facility or else what will happen sitting arrangement or what will happen if the worker feel tired and it may be face some kind of problem that's why for that reason the sitting arrangement and sitting facility is highly essential right then facilities of canteen see aguru kon thila 1948 factory act kon kartila canteen सब facility thila canteen facility भी thila so canteen facility जेतेले सेतेले thila सेतेबेले thila if in a factory more than 250 workers are working no factory, over a factory, if 250 or more than 250 workers are working, then the factory have to provide the canteen facility. এটা ଥିଲା ଯୋଉଟା କି 19 as per the 1948 rules. But now କଣ କହୁଛି ନା the factory act have to provide the canteen facility for the workers if in a factory 100 or more workers are working. ଯଦି ଗୋଟେ ଫ୍ୟାକ୍ଟରି 250 ରୁ 100 କରିଦେଲା, ରାଇଟ୍? 250 ରୁ ଏନା ଆସିଗଲା କେତେ ମନେ ରଖିବେ 100 or more workers including contract laborers or ordinary employee. एमती नहीं कि खाली permanent employee माने थिबे. All the permanent employee must be there so that the factory will provide the the canteen facility. No, it including contract labor as well as the ordinary employee, including every individuals, every workers. No, if 100 or more than 100 workers are working, then the factory will have to provide the canteen facility. Aguru eta thila 250. Now, medical facility, medical examination एटा हमको दरकार नहीं कारण एटा medical examination employed जोटा कि माइंस पे रखिछि से पे मैं पॉइंट डिस्कशन करलिनी हैला. पॉइंट नंबर जोटा कि आपनकर 6 कहूची इन केस ऑफ माइंस कहला मेडिकल एग्जामिनेशन इज हाईली एसेंशियल फॉर द एम्प्लॉय जोटा कि एम्प्लॉय मानक पय से मानक मेडिकल एग्जाम हो सो ओवरऑल तारो रूल्स रा गाइडलाइन माइंस मानक पय. सेक्शन 7.8 adequate first aid box पिला माने 1948 फैक्ट्री एक्ट रे थिला for each 150 workers, one first aid box must be the factory, the occupier should provide one first aid box. It means, basing on these, the number of workers are there in the factory, then the number of first aid box you have to provide, right? जोटा कि आपनकर प्रत्येक 150 रे गोटे फास्ट एड हेले धरतु 1000 जन काम करछन ताले से अनुसार आपण फास्ट एड बॉक्स देई देका जिवे and up to date medicines, up to date utensils, up to date everything must be there in a first aid box. जोटा कि आज का डेट रे कोन कहिला adequate first aid box or cupboard with contents readily accessible during all working hours. So say आ केते लोक करे दिया जिवो सेटा को हटै देला ना proper first aid box, every up to date medicines and utensils must be there in the first aid system and sufficient adequate means sufficient abo, right? Sufficient first aid box but aguru thila 150 each 150 work pratyeka 150 worker re gote first aid box but now sufficient first aid box the factory have to provide basing on the as per the requirement of the workers and in the basically during all working hours factory jette time operate करछि से टाइम रे से प्रोवाइड करियो. Any other welfare measure which is central government consider जदि central government आउ किछि welfare measure implement करूछि then ताहले ए सब आको time to time implement हबो हैला. Apart from this आ छडा एतिकी छडा आउ से कोन कहिला ना the guideline new rules regulations as per the new labor code said the factory also be ready for the ambulance room. aguru भी थिला aguru जहा थिला एना से आज factory be ready for ambulance room for factory mines building and other construction area समस्त को एठी कंबाइन कर देला. aguru खाली factory रा गाइडलाइन थिला इना mines को building other construction area सब को कंबाइन कर देला. if 500 workers are working, if 500 or more than 500 workers are working over a factory mines and other construction area, then the factory have to provide this establishment must be provide the ambulance room, right? And apart from these the medical facilities जोटा कि हमर अछि कहा पय स्पेसिफिकली एटा रखा जाय छी ना मोटर ट्रांसपोर्ट वर्कर मानक पय जोटा कि सेकंड पॉइंट ता कहूची मेडिकल फैसिलिटी फॉर द मोटर ट्रांसपोर्ट वर्कर्स कारण एटी सब आगे कंबाइन कर दै छी सो सेमानकर हॉल्टिंग स्टेशन apart from this uniform raincoat and other amenities in case of rain and cold for that motor transport workers for this what this point number 2 is required for that category of persons that people are working in that area motor transport area pilamane hela. Then asla kona the adequate suitable separate shelter and restroom. See एना केतरे शेल्टर एंड रेस्टरूम दिया जिवो देखंतु suitable separate shelter and restroom for male, female, and transgender. Right? As well as the lunchroom. If the canteen facility is not there, then a lunchroom is highly essential in every factory and mine where in more than 50 workers are ordinarily employed. Right? ताମାନେ ଏଠି କଣ କହିଲା ଦେଖନ୍ତୁ ଆଗରୁ shelter lunch room କେତେରେ ଦିଆ ଯାଉଥିଲା if more than 150 workers are working ଯଦି more than 150 workers କାମ କରୁଥିବେ then the factory have to provide the shelter facility and restroom facility and lunchroom facility. Shelter, restroom, lunchroom on the basis of more than 150 workers. Now that is reduced 150 workers, and now if 50 workers, 50 or more than 50 workers are working, then the factory have to provide the shelter, restroom and lunchroom facility. जोटा कि आगुरु थिला केते 150 राइट ये जो हमर आसला कोन फर्स्ट एड बॉक्स सेटा मध्ये थिला आपनकर इच 150 रे बट एटा मोर देन 150 और मोर देन 150 थिला जोटा कि रिड्यूस करी कि कोन कर देला ओनली 50 कर देला राइट तपरे चलंतु द अपॉइंटमेंट ऑफ वेलफेयर ऑफिसर सी these are the section basically what the section 24. It is the responsibility of the welfare officer whether all the facility the factory providing properly or not, whether the workers are availing these facilities or not, whether the workers are facing any kind of problem related to these facilities. These all things that is the lookout, take care and look out by the welfare officer. Right? A सबूर responsibility la kahara na welfare officer. So welfare officer kiye? Na welfare officer is a person in case of the factory and mines and plantation. Tini tago jakare saman korte laina. Aguru different thila sab. Right? An appointment of welfare officer in every factory, mine or plantation wherein 250 or more workers ordinarily employed. Sunant. तापर तार केमती employed हबो employed and the qualification condition service and duties such welfare officers आ माने कहला आगुरु केते थिला ना if केतेरे ना more 500 or more than 500 workers working in a particular factory then the welfare officer must be appointed 500 थिला 500 थिला suppose आपनकर केते ना 500 कोन 5000 लोक करथि 500 ना. So 500 to 2500 one welfare officer, 2500 to 3500 one welfare officer, one assistant welfare officer. एमती तर calculation हे का पूरा गुडे सीट आस्तेला. Right? एइना भी आसीबो. So basically एइना तो 250 रे कहि देला reduce कर देला. Now the welfare officer the factory have to appoint if 250 more than 250 workers are working over a factory that the factory have to appoint the welfare officer. The qualification, conditions, service, duties, everything that decided by the appropriate government. It appropriate government सब decide करछि. धरंतु ना welfare officer के ही परिबो. For example नहीं welfare officer धरंतु एना जो माने आपण माने कोन MBA with HR specialization. जो मानकर MBA सहित HR specialization अछि सो सेही माने कोन हेबे ना जेतला welfare officer post बाहरिबो you are eligible for that post. All the PMIR students, personal management and industrial relation, that students and MBA with HR specialization. Without HR specialization, it may be an MBA degree, but without HR specialization, the person is not eligible for welfare officer. So these students are eligible for welfare officers. So the qualifications and the condition of service, rules, regulation, duties, everything that decided by and that basically decided by the appropriate government. Now the factory have to appoint kariba pai badhya akru to 500 thila but now it is a 250 workers. If more 250 or more than 250 workers are working, then the factory have to appoint the welfare officer. Right? Factory appoint karibo, salary factory dabo, but rules, regulation, term, condition fix kiye karibo appropriate government. Then for providing by the employer temporary living accommodation. ଯେମିତି କି ଆମେ କଣ କହିଲେ, ଧରନ୍ତୁ ଯେ ଆମର temporary living accommodation free for charge जो guideline ସବୁ ଥିବ ଯୋଉଟା କି ଆମେ ଏଠି employee providing what employer temporary living accommodation ଯୋଉଟା କି employee ମାନଙ୍କ ପାଇଁ free charge ରେ temporary living accommodation ମଧ୍ୟ ଯଦି possible ସେମାନଙ୍କ ପାଇଁ arrange କରିବ ହେଲା। Apart from these, the most important factor is also there what every factory have to provide as per the central government guideline. No, every factory have to provide crèche facility, right? Suitable room and room for the use of children under the age of 6 years. तामाने एटी कौन कहला? If in a factory 50 or more than 50 workers are working in an establishment, more than 50 workers are working, then the factory have to provide a crèche facility so that the up to 6 years of child they can be there in the crèche. It means, see, the government, the maternity leave, the appropriate government, while as per the maternity leave guideline, the woman employee can take 6-month maternity leave. After that, while the woman employee will come to the organization for for the establishment, so that 6 months to 6 years the baby will be there in the crèche. तामाने पूरा सेट रही जिवो कि नहीं. So तार जति working hours थिबो 8 hours, 8 hours तो working hour इन पूरा final करा जायछि, जो 8 hour बेबी कौन कहबो क्रेच रे रहइबो. फॉर दैट बहुत सारा गाइडलाइन अछि एठी लेखिनी, से गाइडलाइन धीरे धीरे आसीबो कि प्रोवाइड करिवो. अगरु गाइडलाइन दिला कोन फॉर दैट कौन करा जिवो ना फ्री नर्सिंग ब्रेक, ता पई तीनटा नर्सिंग ब्रेक रहिबो. मदर को each nursing break will be 15 minutes. It must be there up to 15 months. बेबी 6 मास रु 15 मास पर्यंत 15 मिनिट्स लेखा जोटा कि तीनटा नर्सिंग ब्रेक रहिबो अपार्ट फ्रॉम दी लंच आवर, जोटा कि ताको मिसेले आपनकर लंच ब्रेक को मिसेले 4टा रहिबो. सो से टाइप रो बहुत सारा गाइडलाइन रूल्स रेगुलेशन फ्रेम करा जायतिला, एतरे किछि लेखिनी. सो डेफिनेटली सेटा एप्लीकेबल हबो कि कोन करिवो सेटा नोटिफिकेशन आसु आमे जानिबा हैला. बट ओवरऑल एति गेना देछि, बट आगुरो गाइडलाइन आरो बहुत अछि. केते से क्रेच रो कोन ना हाउ मच ड्रिंकिंग वाटर द एम्प्लॉयर शुड प्रोवाइड, हाउ मच मिल्क, केते खाइबा दरकार, कोन क्वांटिटी रो खाइबा दबो, सबो किछि पूरा फिक्स हेछि सेतिरे. Say सब guideline, but it nahi, it may be the government will provide in the later, but still this is the facility the organization, the factory have to provide, right? Crèche facility. Apart from these, provided that an established can avail crèche facility, common crèche facility, gote kahuchi कि as per the central government and state government guideline, municipality, private entity एमानकर guideline अनुसारे यदि common crèche facility हेई परिबो ताहाले मध्य से particular area रे दबा दरकार common crèche facility, so that the as per the requirement of the people they can use that common crèche. So this is all about your kana now welfare provision. It is there in the section 24, and this is a responsibility of the what? The welfare officer to take care this area. And it is a responsibility of the occupier to if see. हमें इठी कौन कहिला गोटे वेलफेयर ऑफिसर केते रे आसीबो if the 200 more than 200 workers are working, no, if less than 200 workers are working, then definitely the employer will not appoint a welfare officer. It is not necessary, not required. Then who will take care of all those things? It is the responsibility of the occupier. Occupier have to maintain everything properly if the welfare officer is not there. If more than 250 the welfare officer is there, then the welfare officer will take care entire things over the factory. बुझिलो कि पिला माने किछि डाउट अछि अपन स्टूडेंट्स पिला माने सुनुतला ना सुनिलन रे
आगे मैम
ओ सुभा जाउतला तो
आगे आगे
काम अच्छा पूरा क्लियरली सुभा जाउतला ना कोन मोर ब्लूटूथ रा काम देलानी अच्छा
मैम गोटे डाउट थिला
ओ
आगे मैम आपण जो कहले 250
हां 250 एम्प्लॉय
हेले वर्कर हेले गोटे फैक्ट्री ଆଜ୍ଞା ମୁଁ ଯୋଉ କମ୍ପାନୀରେ କାମ କରୁଥିଲି ସେଠି ଆମକୁ କୁହାଯାଇଥିଲା ଯେ 500 ଏମ୍ପ୍ଲୟୀରେ ଗୋଟେ ୱେଲଫେୟାର ଦରକାର ଅଫିସର।
Welfare officer ଆଗରୁ ଯୋଉ ଫ୍ୟାକ୍ଟ୍ରି ଆକ୍ଟ 1948 ଥିଲା ସେଇଠି
ଆଜ୍ଞା
କଣ ଥିଲା କି 500 or more than 500 ୱାର୍କର୍ସ ଯଦି କାମ କରୁଥିବେ ତାହେଲେ ଗୋଟେ ୱେଲଫେୟାର ଅଫିସର ଆପଏଣ୍ଟ ହେବେ ହେଲା। ସେମିତି କାଲକୁଲେସନ ଅନୁସାରେ 500 to 2500 ଯଦି ୱାର୍କର ଅଛନ୍ତି ଗୋଟେ ୱେଲଫେୟାର ଅଫିସର, 2500 to 3500 ଭିତରେ ଯଦି ୱାର୍କର ଅଛନ୍ତି ତାହେଲେ ଗୋଟେ ୱେଲଫେୟାର ଅଫିସର ଗୋଟେ ଆସିଷ୍ଟାଣ୍ଟ ୱେଲଫେୟାର ଅଫିସର, ଏମିତି କରି କରି ତାର କାଲକୁଲେସନ ଥିଲା। ସେଇଟା କଣ ଆଜ ପର ଦି 1948 ଗାଇଡଲାଇନ ହେଲା। ଏଇ ଯୋଉ ନୂଆ ନ୍ୟୁ ଲେବର କୋଡ ଆସିଗଲା ଏଇଠି କଣ କଲା ୱେଲଫେୟାର ଅଫିସର କେତେରେ ଆସିବେ ନା 250 ରେ 500 ଟାକୁ ରିଡ୍ୟୁସ କରିକି 250 କରିଦେଲା। ଦେଖନ୍ତୁ ଏଠି ଆପଣଙ୍କର ବହୁତ ଜିନିଷ ରିଡ୍ୟୁସ କରିଦେଲା। ଆଗରୁ ଆପଣଙ୍କର ଯାହା ଯାହା ଥିଲା ଏଇନା ଦେଖନ୍ତୁ ମୁଁ କଣ କଣ କହିଲି ଦେଖନ୍ତୁ ଏଇଠି ଆପଣଙ୍କର ୱାସିଂ ଗଲା, ବାଥିଂ ଗଲା, କ୍ଲଥିଂ ଗଲା, ସିଟିଂ ଆରେଞ୍ଜମେଣ୍ଟ ଗଲା, କ୍ୟାଣ୍ଟିନ ଆଗରୁ କ୍ୟାଣ୍ଟିନ ଥିଲା 250 ରେ ହେଲା, ଏଇନା କ୍ୟାଣ୍ଟିନ ଦେଲା କଣ 100 ରେ। 100 ରେ କ୍ୟାଣ୍ଟିନ ଫ୍ୟାସିଲିଟି ଆପଣ ଏଇନା କହିବେ ମ୍ୟାମ୍ ଆମର ତ ଅର୍ଗାନାଇଜେସନ ରେ କହୁଛି କି 250 more than 250 workers are there then we have to provide canteen facility, but now the factory have to provide canteen facility if more than 100 workers are working. एटा गाइडलाइन चेंज हो गला, एटा रिड्यूस कर देला। फास्ट एड बॉक्स ईच 150 रे थिला, एना कोन कला फास्ट एड बॉक्स पूरा सफिशिएंट दियो, भर्ती करी गी दियो, आउ किछि गाइडलाइन एठी रखिलानी। राइट, सेमती आपनकर एम्बुलेंस रूम आगुरु भी 500 रे थिला, एना भी 500 रे अछि। मेडिकल फैसिलिटी एटा तो माइंस पाई हैला। एडुकेट आपनकर सुइटेबल कोन कहिले लंच रूम, रेस्ट रूम ए सब ए जो सब कहिला एटा ओनली 50 वर्कर रे, आगुरु 150 वर्कर रे थिला, एना 50 वर्कर कर देला। 250 रे आसीगला वेलफेयर ऑफिसर, एना सब रिड्यूस कर देछि। नंबर ऑफ वर्कर्स टा जो आगुरु बहुत लोक थिले गोटे फैसिलिटी दिया जाउथला, एना से सब रिड्यूस कर देछि। बुझी गले ना, बुझिले ना पिला माने? क्रेच आगुरु भी 50 थिला, एना भी 50 अछि, किछि चेंज हेनी।
यस
क्रेच
मैम।
फैसिलिटी आगुरु भी 50 वर्कर्स रे थिला, एना भी 50 वर्कर्स रे अछि। क्रेच किछि चेंज हेनी। एम्बुलेंस रूम भी आगुरु 50 रे 500 थिला, एना भी 500 रे अछि। बाकी ओवरऑल किछि 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 सब चेंज कर देछि, आउ दुईटा सेक्शन रे आपको कवर कर देछि। आउ जे अछि पिला माने आ गोटे अछि एनुअल लीव विथ वेजेस वर्क कोन 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 सेटा अछि, आ गोटे चैप्टर अछि आपनकर इंट्रोड्यूस करिछि फैक्ट्री एक्ट आगुरु भी थिला। वर्किंग आवर्स फॉर एडल्ट वर्कर्स एंड एनुअल लीव विथ वेजेस, सेटा गोटे बड़ चैप्टरटा अछि, मु सेटा गोटे डिस्कशन करूनी हैला। आपण माने हेल्थ, सेफ्टी और वेलफेयर एतिकी ही मन रखंतु एई रिक्वायरमेंट पाई कहि कि। एनुअल लीव विथ वेजेस एंड वर्किंग आवर्स फॉर एडल्ट वर्कर्स से चैप्टर मु डिस्कशन करूनी, कारण सेटा गोटे चैप्टर डिस्कशन करे से पूरा लेंथी चैप्टर। देन अगेन हमको एटा बहुत हमर आउरी आगु को चैप्टर अछि बाकी हमें पढिबा पाई हैला। आउ गोटे ना इंट्रोड्यूस करिछि जोटा कि आपनकर फैक्ट्री एक्ट 1900 आज पर द न्यू लेबर कोड, वर्किंग आवर्स फॉर वुमेन वर्कर्स, जोटा कि आगुरु इन अर्लियर नो हमर गाइडलाइन कोन थिला, नो वुमेन दे कैन नॉट अलाउ इन द नाइट शिफ्ट, only the women can work in the day shift as per the guideline of the state government हैला। so women can work in the day shift only, so आगुरु जदि हमें कहबा गाइडलाइन कोन थिला, so women man only day shift ही काम करि परिबे, they cannot work in the night shift, but in the new guideline as per the new rules and regulation women can work at the night shift. It means after 6 o'clock, before after 6 o'clock and before after 6 p.m. and before 7 a.m. ମାନେ 6ଟା ରୁ ସକାଳ 7ଟା ପର୍ଯ୍ୟନ୍ତ ଓମେନ୍ ମାନେ ରାତିରେ କାମ କରିପାରିବେ, ବଟ୍ କନସେଣ୍ଟ ଅଫ ଦି ଓମେନ୍ ଏମ୍ପ୍ଲୟ, ରାଇଟ୍? ମନେ ବାଇ ଫୋର୍ସ କରିକି ଆପଣ ଆଣିକିରି ଫ୍ୟାକ୍ଟ୍ରିରେ ଭରିବେନି। As per the consent of the women employee, the women employee can work in the night shift, but you have to provide sufficient safety facility, no pick and drop facility, safety facility. ପିଲାମାନେ କାହିଁକି ସାଉଣ୍ଡ ଆସିଲା ରେ? Pick and drop facility and safety facility you have to provide. ପିଲାମାନେ ଦେଖ ହେଲା, so pick and drop facility, safety provisions should be there, no? It is a responsibility of the occupier। एटा टिके मने रखिबे, हम समस्त जानिचे बहुत हाइलाइट हैला हम टीवी रे, राइट? बहुत हाईलाइट है न्यूज पेपर रे कि वुमेन माने कैन वर्क इन द नाइट शिफ्ट बहुत तार अपोजिशन रे लोक आसिले बहुत फॉर रे लोक आसिले बहुत फॉर रे सोसाइटी आसिला बहुत अपोजिशन रे सोसाइटी आसिला बट स्टिल as per the consent of the women employee only. If the women employee not interested to work in the night shift, then you cannot force to the women employee as a occupier. Right? If the women employees agree to the night shift, then you have to provide the safety provision, right? In the night shift. After 6 o'clock, after 6 p.m. and before 7 a.m., जोटे कि हमें कहूचे entire whole night. So they can, you have to pick and drop facility as well as the safety secure facility. Everything is highly essential. जोटे कि पूरा गोटे चैप्टर रखी सेपरेट दुईटा पॉइंट रे रखी लास्ट रे जेटा मुझे खाली कहीदेली आपण माने मन रखिथिबे हैला पिला माने यस ना किछि डाउट आ ऊपर आउ
No, madam.
पूरा क्लियर एतिके मन रखिबे पूरा इजी अछंदी देखंतु आपण तळु तळु करी सुंदर भाव रे लिखि देबे नेक्स्ट जिबा नेक्स्ट चैप्टर को चलंतु सुनंतु the payment of factory act over as per the 1948 guideline. I told you many things, and as per the the new labor code, already we have discussed everything, right? Payment of bonus act 1965, and as per the new wage code, right? जोटा कि हमर न्यू वेज कोड आसिला सेइथरे हमर कोन हैला ना आमे एना कोन पढिबा द पेमेंट ऑफ बोनस एक्ट एज पर द न्यू वेज कोड. सो ए जो न्यू वेज कोड आसिला से अनुसार आमे पेमेंट ऑफ बोनस एक्ट पढिबा बट द पेमेंट ऑफ बोनस एक्ट 1965 and as per the new wage code of the payment of bonus, right, it is both are completely same, nothing is difference. खाली wording different अछि wording आगर टिके चेंज हेची बट आपनकर एंटायर सिस्टम को पूरा कॉपी और पेस्ट करा जाइछ किछ डिफरेंस नाही राइट सब समान करके रखि देची पेमेंट ऑफ बोनस एक्ट को 1965 पेमेंट ऑफ बोनस एक्ट एंड न्यू वेज कोड पेमेंट ऑफ बोनस एक्ट हमें तो हमर कोन आसिला एज पर दी न्यू जो वेज कोड अनुसार हम चारटा एक्ट पढिबा पेमेंट ऑफ बोनस पेमेंट ऑफ वेजेस minimum wages and equal remuneration act, right? So here as per the no new wage code the payment of bonus act we will discuss, but मो आपण को कोन पुरुना रे जहा थिला सब कहि देबी पढाई देबी पढाई के आपण को नुआ रे जहा अछि एट देखंतु the section 26 to section 41 as per the new guideline, as per the new labor code, as per the new wage code, the payment of bonus act it cover under the section 26 to section 41. एतिके भितरे आपनकर पेमेंट ऑफ बोनस को से रखिछि बट old and new both are same, nothing is different, किछ डिफरेंट नाही है तो मु आपन को सेटा पढेबी देन एटा को आपन को कहि देबी जोटा कि सेक्शन अनुसार आपन को बुझाई देबी ठीक ना पिल्ला माने बुझिलो ना कोन कहली स्टूडेंट्स सुनुचो तो
Yes, ma'am.
अच्छा तो चलंतु एटा को मु आपन को आगे बुझेला पर एटा को कहि नले एटी किछ बुझी परिबेनी आगे पूरा बुझी जिबे तापर एटा को मु कहबी सेक्शन अनुसार तो चलंतु the payment of bonus act you forget about the 65 but payment of bonus act 65 को भी मन रखिबे 65 रे हमर payment of bonus act आस्तिला Indian constitution adopted payment of bonus act at the year of 1965 रे adopt करतिला and the payment of bonus act at the year of 1965 while the Indian constitution adopted it extend to the whole of India and it applied every establishment pratik establishment रे implement हेतिला but as per the new wage code the payment of bonus act see the payment of bonus every organization can provide the payment of bonus as per the profit and productivity of the organization will provide bonus on the basis of profit and productivity. It means if the organization not making profit, organization facing losses, whether the organization will provide bonus or not. कहला मु कोन कहली organization कोन करिवो bonus provide करिवो profit और productivity ऊपर organization एना profit करूनी loss रे चलछि organization bonus provide करिवो ना करिवोनी पिला माने କୁହ ଜଲ୍ଦି ଜଲ୍ଦି କହିବ
No, madam.
କରିବନି ଆପଣ ଅର୍ଗାନାଇଜେସନ କୁ 10 ବର୍ଷ ହେଲା ଆପଣଙ୍କ ଅର୍ଗାନାଇଜେସନ କୁ 10 ବର୍ଷ ହେଲା ହେଲା ଆପଣ ବହୁତ ପ୍ରଫିଟ କରୁଥିଲେ ବହୁତ ଭଲ ବୋନସ ଦଉଥିଲେ ଏଇନା ଅର୍ଗାନାଇଜେସନ ପୁରା ଲସ୍ ରେ ଚାଲିଛି ଆପଣ ବୋନସ ଦେବେନି ନା
ଯଦି ସେ ଦବ ଲୋନ କରିକି ଦବ ନା।
ଶୁଣନ୍ତୁ ଅର୍ଗାନାଇଜେସନ ଆପଣ ଲୋନ କରିକି ଦିଅନ୍ତୁ କି ଆପଣଙ୍କର ଆମେ ମୁଁ କହିବି ଆପଣଙ୍କର ଯୋଉଟା କି ସେଟ ଫର୍ମୁଲା ଆସିବ ସେଇ ଅନୁସାରେ ଦିଅନ୍ତୁ ଯୋଉଠୁ ଆପଣ ଦିଅନ୍ତୁ ବଟ୍ if once bonus applied for the organization it will applied forever. It means if the organization is existing it means you have to provide bonus to the workers. You cannot deny to the workers, no, I cannot pay bonus because my organization is facing losses. No, income is not there, that's why I cannot provide bonus. You cannot say that. No, you have to provide. ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ଦବାକୁ ହିଁ ପଡିବ ଏଟା କେତେବେଳେ ନା ତାର କ୍ରାଇଟେରିଆ ଅଛି first 5 year while the establishment, no, the newly establishment up to 5 year the bonus act is not mandatory for the establishment because the new organization it may be making profit or may be facing losses whatever may be the situation चलो ताको फ्री दे दियो माफ करो भाई but in during this 5 year if you are paying bonus to your worker then it is the basically what it is the greatness of the employer to ask the workers but it is not compulsory to you but after 5 years you have to whether the organization providing no making profit or facing losses so but you have to provide bonus to the workers on the basis of profit or productivity it means you are making more profit you have to provide more bonus you are making your organization is facing losses then you have to provide less bonus more profit more bonus less profit less bonus ଏଇଟା ହେଇପାରିବ ହେଲା ତାପରେ ଚାଲନ୍ତୁ see applicability the act apply for every factory and every other establishment where 20 or more persons are working पूरा जहाँ जहाँ कोची सब मन रखिबे भाबिबे एटा न्यू एक्ट आमे पढुचे एटा किछि पुराना नो न्यू एक्ट खाली सेक्शन चेंज हेछि पिला माने ओनली द सेक्शन चेंज हेछि बाकी सब एटा नुआ रे ही मो पढौछि भाबो नुआ ही एटा किछि पुराना नो खाली सेक्शन टा मु चेंज टा कहि देबी आगु को जाइके तो applied every factory and every other establishment where 20 or more persons are working 20 ରୁ ଅଧିକ ଜଣ କାମ କରୁଛନ୍ତି ତାହେଲେ ବୋନସ୍ ସେଠି applicable ହବ once bonus act will apply it will continue no well the organization no organization up to basically what organization existing means the bonus the organization have to provide bonus but in case of the number of member workers it may be after the suppose ame kon kahile suppose in the suppose once the bonus is applied in that particular establishment but the number of member it may be reduced ଧରନ୍ତୁ ଆପଣଙ୍କର 2 ବର୍ଷ 50 20 ଜଣ 25 ଜଣ କାମ କରୁଥିଲେ ବଟ୍ ନାଓ ଏଇ ବର୍ଷ ଆପଣ କଣ କଲେ କମେଇ ଦେଲେ ଲୋକ 15 ଜଣ ରଖିଛନ୍ତି ହେଲା 15 workers are there ନା ଆପଣ କହିବେ କି ମୋ ଅର୍ଗାନାଇଜେସନ ରେ ତ ଏ ବର୍ଷ 15 ଜଣ ୱାର୍କର ଅଛନ୍ତି ମୁଁ କାହିଁକି ବୋନସ୍ ଦେବି ଏଟା ତ 20 ଜଣ ପାଇଁ ଏଲିଜିବଲ ହେଇପାରିବନି ତାମାନେ ମୁଁ କଣ କହିଲି once applied means it will applicable applied in that particular establishment means it will applicable forever ଆପଣଙ୍କର the number of person it may be increasing or the number of person it may be decreasing the number of the organization may be making profit may be facing losses whatever may be the condition but you have to provide bonus ତାମାନେ ଆପଣ 20 ଜଣ ରଖୁଥିବେ ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ଏଲିଜିବଲ ହେଉଥିବ ଆପଣ 15 ଜଣ ରଖୁଥିବେ ପୁଣି ଆପଣଙ୍କର କଟୁଥିବ ପୁଣି ଆପଣ 25 ଜଣ ରଖୁଥିବେ ପୁଣି ଆଉ ସେଣ୍ଟ୍ରାଲ ଗଭର୍ଣ୍ଣମେଣ୍ଟ ଷ୍ଟେଟ ଗଭର୍ଣ୍ଣମେଣ୍ଟ ପାଖରେ କିଛି କାମ ନାହିଁ ସେ ଏଇ ଜିନିଷ ଦେଖିବ ନା କଣ ବସିକି ହେଲା ତ ସେଇଥି ପାଇଁ ଆପଣଙ୍କର once applied means it will apply forever and the number of person may be increasing or decreasing right may be making profit or may be facing losses मन रखिबे हैला eligibility कि एलिजिबल ए देखंतु एडी एलिजिबिलिटी रे सेक्शन 8 रे थिला एटा जस्ट सेक्शन टा चेंज हिच आ किछि नो मु सेक्शन टा केते चेंज हिच मागु जाई के आपन कहबे every employees are eligible every employees are irrespective of every employees but the employee who is receiving wage or salary up to 21,000 per month ଏବେ ବି 21,000 ଅଛି, କିଛି ଚେଞ୍ଜ ହେଇନି। ମେ ବି ଗଭର୍ଣ୍ଣମେଣ୍ଟ ଆଗକୁ ଯାଇକି ଚେଞ୍ଜ କରିବ, we don't know about that, but in present scenario, as per the central government norm, the employee who is getting up to 21,000 per month, for that the employee is eligible for bonus. And the employee, it may be skilled, unskilled, semi-skilled, clerical, supervisor, technical, manual, every persons are eligible for the bonus. Samaste eligible have bonus pai kaki. But the managerial category of persons cannot be eligible, because the managerial category of person, definitely the person, it may receiving no more than 21,000 per month. That's why the persons are not eligible. Every persons are eligible, the wage and the salary who is receiving up to 21,000 per month. And apart from these, the criteria is there. The person must be worked in that particular establishment not less than 30 working days in that particular accounting year. Accounting year amar kebudu start hochi, kebudu start hochi pila mane? আমি যদি গোটে accounting year কহিবা, accounting year কেবটু
April
কেবে
ରୁ।
পর্যন্ত am?
Half
First
April,
April.
madam. Half
First
April,
April.
31st March.
31st
Before
March
31st.
ହେଲା, ଆପଣ 1st April ରୁ 31st March ଭିତରେ ସେଇ establishment ରେ 30 ଦିନ minimum କାମ କରିଥିବେ, minimum, not less than 30 working days. If you will not work in less than 30 working days is there in that particular establishment, and you are getting less than 21,000 also, still you are not eligible for the payment of bonus, right? So ଆପଣ minimum 30 ଦିନ କାମ କରିଥିବେ. It may be the skilled, unskilled, semi-skilled, clerical, supervisory, manual, ଯାହା ହୁଅନ୍ତୁ, you are eligible for bonus. Criteria ହେଲା ଆୟା। ଆଚ୍ଛା, ତାପରେ ଚାଲନ୍ତୁ exempted establishment। ଏଟା ପୁରା ସେଠି ପୁରା ଲିଷ୍ଟ ଦେଇଛି, ଆପଣ ଏଠି ଧ୍ୟାନରେ ମନେ ରଖିବେ ହେଲା। Who, some organizations are there, who is that organization basically not bound to provide bonus. It means not compulsory that organization to pay bonus. Organization माने bonus totally देबे ही नहीं। से किए लिस्ट टा देखि देबे एठी, ए सब organization माने bonus पाई eligible नहोते, माने तार workers को bonus देबेनी। की organization जेमति कि General Insurance Company, LIC Life Insurance Company, Central Government, State Government Establishment, Indian Red Cross, University, Hospitals, Dispensaries, ए जेति को आपण एठी देखिले, these are the different establishment. धरंतु I am working at DDC, मु कोन bonus पाउची? No, bonus रो concept ही सेठी नाही। मु आ पूर्वरु एजुकेशनल इंस्टीट्यूशंस रे थिली, MBA कॉलेज रे थिली, लास्ट 10 इयर्स के चाकरी कली, गोटे टंका बोनस देला? नो, कारण आम माने बोनस पाई एलिजिबल नु। मु तो नुह मैम, आपण तो 21,000 अधिक पाउथिबे, आपण कोन बोनस पाई थांदे ना कोन? ना, मु तो नुह सेठी पियन को भी बोनस दिया जिवो, निजे 10,000 भी पाउथबो, कारण ए एस्टैब्लिशमेंट मान का पाई बोली बोनस एलिजिबल नुह, राइट? दैट्स द इफ आपण कहबे मैम सी तो स्टेट गवर्नमेंट रे मोर गोटे सांग चाकरी करछि, से तो बोनस पाउछि। यस, if the organization is providing bonus, such kind of organization is providing such kind of no monetary benefit towards the employee, taku tame bonus कहबानी। If some monetary benefit providing by the organization to the employee, then we can call as a ex gratia payment, taku ame ex gratia payment बोली कहबा हैला। That is not a bonus. No, central government employees receiving some monetary benefit or state government employee also receiving some monetary benefit, then we can call as a ex gratia benefit, that is not called as a bonus. ए माने देबे नहीं, जोटा कि आजि पर्यंत टंके भी केबे भी हमें पाइनु। Employee disqualified for receiving bonus. Disqualified कौन हबो मैम? देखंतो, me is a worker, मु हेली गोटे worker, I am no me is receiving 20,000 per month, 20,000 la mo wages, and also I spent entire year, whole year, 30 दिन कोन मु 365 दिन आसी के काम करछि हैला, पूरा whole year आसी के काम करछि, still the organization will not give bonus to me. Why? Because if the person is doing such kind of you can see this slide here, such kind of things in that particular establishment and organization, then the organization will not provide bonus. In case of the person is doing some kind of fraud, theft, violence behavior, misconduct, this kind of activity, if the person is doing in that particular organization, then the organization, it may be, no, it is not eligible for bonus. Disqualified, you are disqualified for bonus due to such kind of things you are doing in that particular organization. Chori kariba, ठकिबा, टाका डालिबा, then आसला ये कौन करिबा कहले, जहा जहा सब आपणकर अछि ए सब जदि किछि जणे कला ताहले से बोनस पई एलिजिबल हबो नाही, मन रखिबे हैला। तापर चलंतु एडा देखो एडा जो सेक्शन थिला सेक्शन चेंज हिचे, सेक्शन को मन रखिबनी, मु सेक्शन टाको चेंज सेक्शन टाको पढेबी। मिनिमम बोनस, मैक्सिमम बोनस, अच्छा मिनिमम बोनस कोन, मैक्सिमम बोनस कोन? सी द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, ऑलरेडी आई टोल्ड यू, मु ऊपर कहि के आसिली, if the organization is making more profit, making more productivity, na organization is basically productivity is very high. Productivity means leads to profit. Productivity more means profit more. Profit more means bonus more, right? Organization is very, facing very losses and making very less profit, no? In that case, organization can provide minimum bonus to the workers. Minimum bonus means the organization will provide the minimum bonus. किछि change हैनी, एया ही अछि, section को मन रखिबेनी, section mo again कहबी। minimum bonus 8.33% of your wages. आपनकर wages रो 8.33% आपनको minimum bonus दिया जीवो। Organization may be making profit, may be facing losses. Whatever may be the condition, the organization have to provide minimum. ता माने आपण profit करचंती, minimum 8.33% देला हबनी। आपण organization facing losses, then you have to pay minimum 8.33% as a bonus. आपण तो पूरा स्टॉप करि परिबेनी, ऑलरेडी आई टोल्ड यू, पूरा बंद करिबेनी, असम माने सेटा जदि आपण बोनस बंद कर देबे ताले आपण गवर्नमेंट आसी कहतो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन बंद कर दे, आ तू इलिजिबल नो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन रन करिबा पय। सो एटी आपण कोन करले, सो यू हैव टू प्रोवाइड 8.33%। तापर से कहूची देखतो, इन केस ऑफ धरंतु गोटे लोक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ने किछि दिन काम करछि, 30 दिन तो आपण मिनिमम करिबे ही करिबे, ताले इलिजिबल नले हेबेनी करचंती। आपनको कैलकुलेशन कला आलो आपनको बोनस होची 30 टंका, हेले 30 रुपीस होची, 40 रुपीस होची, हैला, कारण आपण 30 दिन तले आपण मिनिमम एलिजिबिलिटी क्राइटेरिया, बट स्टिल आपनको जतले बोनस कैलकुलेशन करा गला नो, आपनको बोनस होची 30 रुपीस नल तो 40 रुपीस समिति होची। सो गवर्नमेंट कहूची, सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट मान अप्रोप्रिएट गवर्नमेंट से नो, in that case you have to provide not 30, 40, 60 rupees, you cannot pay that person, either you have to provide minimum 100 rupees to that particular person, हैला, 100 टंका मिनिमम देबे। ए 15 वर्ष 60 वर्ष 60 टंका ए सब को भूली जानतु। आपण एना गोटे जिंस एडी मन रखिबे, मिनिमम आपणकर 30, 40, 50 टंका खुचरा नुह, आपण मिनिमम 100 रुपीस ताको देबे जदि तार योनी, और तार जदि नंबर ऑफ डेज अनुसार फुलफिल करूनी, or else you have to provide 8.33 minimum 8.33% as a bonus to the worker. न बुझले पचारिबे। Maximum bonus, your organization is making much more profit, you are a profit making organization, earning highly profit, no, in your organization. So what happened now here, what you will do, you will provide maximum bonus. Maximum bonus how much? Maximum bonus 20%. Upon up to 20% you can pay bonus to the employee. See देखो आपण जेतले बोनस दोउचंदी फ्री रे दउ नांती, आपणकर से बोनस दबा काहे की दोउचंदी ना, आपणकर प्रोडक्टिविटी के कला, वर्कर्स कले, आपणकर प्रॉफिट किए कला, वर्कर्स कले। भाई वर्कर्स यदि एते परिश्रम करचंदी, आपण यदि वर्कर्स को किछि देबेनी ताले से आपणक प्रोडक्टिविटी बढ़ेबे किछि नै, लास्ट कमिंग ईयर को पूरा जीरो होई जिवो बेनिफिट प्रॉफिट। सो workers, the level of dedication of the workers towards the organization, no, their loyalty, their commitment, their effort, their belongingness, you just recognize them, no. For that, if you will provide such kind of facility to them, they will motivate and satisfied in the organization, and they will give more effort and more dedication towards the organization. And these things, no, ei jo situation apana jo productivity profit korchenti, it will continue forever, no. So seithi pai you must, no, recognize the workers hard work. For that you have to pay bonus to satisfy, to motivate the employee need. सेइथि पई बोनस ता आपण दबा निहाती दरकार। किए दबार पिला माने एतिकी पर्यंत बुझिलो कि जहा कहली स्टूडेंट्स जेतिकी पर्यंत पढ़ेली बुझिले ना नहीं कहंतु बाकी आगु को कथा
Yes,
छाडंतु
ma'am.
एबे जेतिकी पर्यंत पढ़ेली बुझिले ना कहार किछि डाउट पिला माने कहार किछि डाउट have you any doubt regarding anything or you means what माने पूरा क्लियरली बुझी गले पिला माने कोन हो नाही किछि कहलोनी जणे खाली हो कहले यस मैम कहले
All clear,
Ma'am,
madam.
ଯାହା doubt ଥିବ offline class ରେ କହିବେ।
तमर आपण मानकर ऑफलाइन क्लास होबन तो
हाँ madam, next month रे हबना.
ऑफलाइन क्लास हबो नेक्स्ट मंथ रे
हाँ madam, कहथिले तो.
आर कहथिले
मैंने नोटिस आस्थिला madam. offline
नोटिस
हबो बोली.
अच्छा मु जाने एटा एना आपण कोस्टिन क्लास हबो ना
हाँ madam.
Yes, ma'am.
ठीक अछि किछि नाही हो ठीक अछि किंतु स्टिल ऑफलाइन क्लास तो बहुत आगु को अछि एइना जदी न बुझुथिबे एइना के क्लैरिफाई कर दोथिबे आउ और एल्स आपण टिके माने ये करथिबे काली जदी नेक्स्ट क्लास पूर्वरु किछि डाउट अछि पचार दोथि स्पेसिफिकली एई पेपरटा ल पेपरटा
Yes,
बाकी तो
madam.
अपन सब आउ तो सब आपण बुझि जेबे किछि सेते ये नाही माने आपण को एचआरपीडी एमटीडी बाकी सब इजी एडा टिके खाली ट्रिकी अछि एडा टिके देखि के पढ़ देबे चलो थैंक यू सो मच नेक्स्ट क्लास आई
Thank
विल
you.
कंटिन्यू आमे एठू कंटिन्यू करिबा आपनका मिनिमम मैक्सिमम बोनस हला ता परठू मु कंटिन्यू करिबी बोनस कंप्लीट करिके देन वी विल डिस्कस अनदर आर्ट ठीक है पिला माने
Yes, madam.
ओके चलो थैंक यू बाय
Thank you,
बाय
madam. Good night,
Thank you,
madam.
madam.
Good night, ma'am.
गुड नाइट गुड नाइट
Good evening and welcome back.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Is my
Good
voice
evening,
clear
sir.
to you? Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Am I audible
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
clearly?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay. So let us start with our discussion. Any idea about last class discussion? Anyone
Measurement
of you?
of risk.
Acha, measurement of risk we have already discussed, and today we are going to discuss about models for portfolio selection. Okay,
Yes, sir.
just a minute. I'm sharing my screen. Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes or no?
Yes, sir. It is visible.
Audible?
Yes, sir. Audible.
Good. Sure. I have already shared my actually notepad. Okay. Here I am writing something. You just tell me whether is it visible to you or not. Okay. So today we are going to discuss about models for portfolio selection. Is it visible what I'm writing?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Very good. So here we are going to discuss about two models. Please remember. First one is known as Marquis model. And second one is known as capital asset pricing model. CAPM. Clear? First one is Marquis model. Second one is capital asset pricing model. These two models are the major contribution in the field of investment management whenever we are going to select the portfolio. Okay, why we need to select the portfolio? Last class, in the basics we have already discussed, because as an investor, whether we may be individual or institutional, our aim or objective is to earn maximum return and to undertake minimum risk, isn't it? So
Yes,
when
sir.
risk and return, two components are there, how we are going to handle them, how we are going to manage them in order to determine the maximum return. That is our motto. So by taking these two components, these two beautiful models has been contributed by the major economist, and for your kind information, these two models are already published in the Journal of Finance, which is a international level of finance, top-notch international level of finance of American Finance Association. Clear? And both the models, they have already got the Nobel Prize. Okay, so this is the major contribution in the field of investment management. Please remember. So without delay, we are going to discuss about the first one today, because we have already crossed the time limit. I hope our as informed, our class was at 8 a.m., but it is right now 8:35 or 38 a.m. I think. Sorry, 8 p.m. not a.m. Isn't it? So anyway,
Yes, sir.
let us continue, but have patience, because you need to understand something. Okay. So first we are going to discuss about Markowitz model. Okay. So very briefly, I am going to discuss about this Markowitz model. So this Markowitz model was developed by Professor Harry Markowitz. And this model was developed in the year 1952, and Professor Harry Markowitz written a beautiful paper to develop this model. Okay, the name of the paper is Portfolio Selection. What is the name of the paper? Portfolio Selection. Please remember. Okay, and this paper was published in the Journal of Finance. Journal of Finance. So this is a journal published by the American Finance Association. Okay, and what this model indicates, let us understand. Okay, so I have already changed my screen.
Yes, sir.
From page number 1 to page number 2. Is page number 2 visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. So what is this Markowitz model? Let us understand. This model is developed from the modern portfolio theory. Modern portfolio theory. Okay. MPT. So that's why Markowitz is also known as the father of portfolio management. Father of portfolio management. By developing this particular model, Professor Markowitz is known as the father of portfolio management. So from modern portfolio theory, he has developed one model. That model is popularly known as Markowitz model. Marquis model. Please remember. So what it states? According to this model, the portfolio theory establishes a relationship between the portfolio's expected rate of return. What it focus? It focuses on two components. Please remember, expected rate of return of the portfolio. And another one is level of risk. Level of risk. Okay. So when we are going to select any efficient portfolio, we need to consider these two components or two major variable, you can say. First one is expected rate of return from the portfolio, and what is the level of risk associated with the portfolio in order to select the optimum portfolio. When we can say it is a optimum portfolio, please remember, if the portfolio is giving maximum return with minimum risk, then we can say our portfolio is optimum portfolio. Please remember, risk will be maximum and risk will be minimum, not maximum. Risk will be minimum. Okay. And return should be maximum. Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Return should be maximum. Then we can say that our portfolio is giving us the optimum benefit. We can say our portfolio is optimum portfolio. Clear? So in order to develop this particular model, okay, Professor Marquis also undertook certain assumptions. Okay, जे कौन सी मॉडल जेते बेले भी डेवलप हुए आपण assumption नहीं की करिबा को पड़े. Why? Because anyone can challenge your theory or your model. Okay, so many factors or so many what you can say variables are there. By considering so many variables, so many factors, we are going to develop a model or a particular theory. So when we are developing, must be there and should be there. Undertook certain assumptions in order to develop this model. What is the assumption number one? Please remember, market must be efficient one. Okay, market means what? Security market, not vegetable market. Okay, are you getting my point? Market must be efficient one. When we can say market is efficient? When we can say that market is efficient? Please, am I audible? Yes,
sir.
or no? When we can say market is efficient?
When
When there
volatility,
is a
sir.
When the
business rolling
returns
is
are
going
positive,
properly, sir.
One by one,
when
please.
the returns are
When
positive,
business rolling is going positive way, sir.
What is going positively? Anab sir, please repeat.
Business means suppose I'm investing something, then at least the yield
Yeah.
is coming positive.
Your yielding, acha. Yielding means your return is going on positive.
Yeah, return.
Okay. Next. I
Sir,
think
market volatility thibo.
market ଯେତେବେଳେ volatility ଥିବ ଦୀପ୍ତି ରଞ୍ଜନ ବାବୁ, then କଣ?
Transaction high thibo, sir.
Transaction high ଥିବ,
Buying and selling.
Buying and selling ଥିବ. Very good. What else? ଦେବାଶିଷ ବାବୁ ଆଜି ନାହାନ୍ତି କି?
Yes, sir. ଅଛି sir.
କଣ କୁହନ୍ତୁ?
Market is efficient means when the stock market is performing well.
Acha, stock market is performing well.
That
Acha.
means fluctuation is very low volatility.
Acha. I think also Anab sir.
Another issue, sir.
Yes,
there
please.
is a proper buying and selling is going in rational way. Means buying,
Yes,
both buying and selling.
Okay, that point is also addressed by Deepti Ranjan Babu. Okay. Manoj Babu, कौन पूरा क्लास करके बोर है already? Now already exhausted.
sir, I have already answered when the returns are positive.
Returns are positive. Good. So please remember, to some way or other, you all are correct. From common man point of view, I am just citing here when we can say market is efficient one. Please remember, all the information of the market must be available to all the buyers and all the sellers. There must not be any kind of hidden information or insider information. Are you getting?
Yes,
When
sir.
you are
Yes, sir.
investing, let's say you are the investor, you are going to invest your money, you are going to put your money in any investment instruments. How you can take the decision? We are talking about risk and return. Yes or no? So where you get
data should
the
be transparent.
yes, data means information.
Yes.
Data means what? Information.
Yes.
So what are
Information
the
about
piece of information available to you? The same piece of information must be available to me and other buyers and sellers also. Are you getting? Adam sir, am I clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So first
Yes, sir.
condition is market is efficient one. Is it clear to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Next, all investors must have common goal. Must have common goal. Goal means objective. Each and every investor should have common goal. That means investors must be risk avoiders. This is the mindset of the investor. I can say as a rational investor, our mindset is to take less amount of risk or less degree of risk. Our level of risk should be less and our expectation about the return should be more. Yes or no? Are you getting or not
Yes, sir.
getting? All investors must have the common goal. Common goal means we must have common objective that we are going to get maximum amount of return. We are expecting maximum amount of return by taking minimum amount of risk. That means investors are in the nature of risk averse. That means they don't want to take more amount of risk. Each and every investor wants to avoid risk. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Next, investor expect maximum return. That point we have already covered. Okay, investors must expect maximum amount of return. As an investor, whether it may be individual or institutionals, our goal is to get maximum return. And the decision will be taken. The decision will be taken on the basis of expected return. Are you getting my point? Investors expect maximum return. Again, as an investor, when we are taking any kind of investment decision, our decision must be on the basis of expected return. Clear? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Coming to next one. So next assumption is about diversification of portfolio will maximize the return and minimize the risk. When we are going for diversification of portfolio will maximize the return, and minimize the risk. Clear? Where we are going to diversify our portfolio, that means altering any security or altering the composition of the investment. Are you getting my point? गोटे बास्केट रे मन करन तो हमें चारिटा सिक्युरिटी रखिथिले सेतरे बर्तन हमें दीटा रखिबा दीटा को हमें कोन करिबा ना डिस्पोज ऑफ करिबा बा रिलीज करनबा तो काहे के हमें अल्टर करूछंती बा कोटर हमें 30% 40% 50% एमिति जो डिसीजन नैथिले वी आर अल्टरिंग व्हाई वी आर अल्टरिंग
Risk reduction.
in order to maximize the return and minimize the risk. Tax. Okay. No transaction. Tax should be there. That means investors can buy and sell. So when they are buying and selling, transactions will happen. Yes or no? So in order to execute the transactions, tax must not be there. Tax should be absent. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So these are the assumptions undertaken by Marcos and human being. What are the decisions taken by others? The same decision must be taken by me. आमे कहउचंदी आजिम कोन करचंदी जेतेबेले रिटर्न मैक्सिमम आउ रिस्क मिनिमम सेतेबेले आमे सेही सिक्युरिटी को सिलेक्ट करबा हम पोर्टफोलियो रे एमिति नाही जे मु जेतेबेले देखुची गोटे सिक्युरिटी रे लॉस हेइची रिस्क अधिक अछि ताको मु कहिबी मो पोर्टफोलियो बास्केट रे रखिबा पई दैट मीन्स आई एम नॉट रेशनल दिस इज नॉट रेशनल डिसीजन ऑफ द इन्वेस्टर सो ऑल इन्वेस्टर मस्ट बी रेशनल they must show Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
No?
Now we can hear you, sir.
Now? Okay.
Yes, coming.
Sir.
Okay. So, by considering these assumptions again, Mr. Marco is consider 3 variables. How many variables? 3 variables. Okay. Return. Variable number 2. Variable number 3. Coefficient of variation. Are you getting my point? Are you getting my point? Am I audible? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
So this standard deviation and coefficient of variation are meant for measuring the degree of risk. Okay, and the first meant for measuring the return on the portfolio. Measuring the return on the portfolio. So 3 variables are undertaken: return, standard deviation, and coefficient of variation. So in standard deviation, we can also measure the risk of the standard deviation will be same or identical of any 2 or multiple securities. What we'll do? We'll go for coefficient of variation in order to determine which securities is having high level of risk or low level of risk. Okay, so in order to determine the relative rate of return by taking the level of risk, we need to go for coefficient of variation. बुझी पाले ना नहीं? आमे गोटे सिक्युरिटी जेतेबेले इन्वेस्ट करूछंती, लेट्स से वी आर एक्सपेक्टिंग 10% rate of return. For 10% rate of return, let's say the degree of risk will be 1. But if in that case, as per our computation of coefficient of variation, let's say degree of risk is 1.5. Say particular security return haba katha 10%, degree of risk haba katha 1. Kintu sete jodi 1.5 hoji ta mane kon? Same rate of return we are getting, 10% we are getting, but here the risk is more. Relatively, we are taking more risk in order to get the same amount of return. So why will undertake more amount of risk when we are going to get the same amount of return? Are you getting my point? So for that purpose, we need to determine the coefficient of variation. Is it clear? Up to this, any doubt or any query? Please proceed. Otherwise, I am going to proceed to the next. Any query from your side? Am I
No, sir.
audible? Yes or no?
Audible, sir. No
Audible.
queries as of now.
No queries. Very good. So, when we are going to determine the return of the portfolio mathematically according to Marquis, how we are going to determine the return of the portfolio? RP stands for return of the portfolio. It is the summation of security number 1 to n number of security. If you are putting 5 securities in your basket, that means your number of security will be 5. Okay. If you are putting 7, n it will be 7. N stands for number of securities or number of investment instruments, number of financial assets. So summation of RI into XI. RI into XI. So you can write the notation. RP stands for expected return of the portfolio. Expected of the portfolio. Clear? Yes or no? Then what is RI? RI of return to security I. Okay. जो सिक्यूरिटी हमें सिलेक्ट करूछंती से सिक्यूरिटी रो एक्सपेक्टेड रेट ऑफ रिटर्न केते XI stands for the proportion of total portfolio invested in security I. The proportion of total portfolio invested in security I. I means the security which we have already included in our basket of portfolio. Are you getting my point? And N stands for total number of securities in the portfolio. Total number of securities in the portfolio. Clear? Did you understand the notations? Once again, I am repeating. According to Marquis, when we are going to determine the return on the portfolio, we have to follow this model, this mathematical model, mathematical equation. RP is equal to summation of I tends to I from 1 to n, RI into XI. What is RP? RP stands for expected return of the portfolio. RI stands for expected return to the security I. If you are taking, let's say, security A, B, C, D, so expected return to security A, expected return to security B, expected return to security D, C, E, like this. And XI stands for the weightage of our investment. Out of the total investment, what is the proportion of the fund we have already invested in security I or security A or security B or security C, like that. And N stands for what is the number of securities or number of financial assets we have already included in our portfolio. Clear? Did you understand? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Are you there? Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So here I am taking one simple example how we are going to determine the return of the portfolio. Okay. So here I am taking one example. Let's say one investor is there. It has already designed its a portfolio. In its portfolio, let's say 4 securities are there. How many securities are there? 4 securities are there. Like A, B, C, D. A may be share, B may be your debenture, C may be bond, or D may be any other securities like this. So 4 securities are there, and weightage is given. That means weightage in percentage. Percentage means proportion. It is already given. Out of the total fund, 10% are invested in security A, 40% are invested in security B, 30% of the total investment are in C, and 20% of the total amount of investment are invested in D. Are you getting my point? If you'll add this, what is the total percentage? Total percentage must be 100%. Are you getting? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Out of our 100% of the fund, we are putting 10% on A, 40% on B, 30% on C, and 20% on D. Return in percentage. What is the expected return from each and every security? Here it is 15%, and here it is 10%. In security C, let's say it is 20%, and in security D, let's say it is 25%. Is it clear? Now we are going to determine the return of the portfolio. What is the question? Question is that what is the expected return on this portfolio? In this portfolio, how many securities we have already placed? We have already placed 4 securities in our basket of portfolio. Clear?
Yes.
These 4 securities are invested in various proportions, and their returns, expected return, are also given. Now, how we are going to find out this return? That means the return on this portfolio. What is the return of the portfolio on the basis of the given information or given data? We know RP is equal to summation of I 1 to N. So how many securities are there? 4 securities are there. Ri into Xi. Yes or no? So Xi is the proportion. Xi is the proportion means this weightage is known as the proportion. Xi. Ri means return on each and every security. So this is Ri. So how we are going to find out? We are going to find out Ri into Xi. Okay. We can write here 0.1 into 0.15. Clear? Plus 0.4 into 0.1 plus 0.3 into 0 plus 0.2 into 0.25. Isn't it?
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes, yes.
Is it clear to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. So otherwise, here I can also add another column. What is that? In the left hand side, I am just adding another column. I am going to find out Ri into Xi. Clear? Ri, you just see how many columns are there. This is column number 1, this is column number 2, this is column number 3. So Ri and Xi will be column number 4. Is it clear? So column number 4 is equal to column number 2 into column number 3. Are you getting?
ସାର ବୋଧେ କଟିଗଲେ डिस्कनेक्ट ହେଇଗଲା ସାର୍ ଆସିଗଲା।
Am I audible?
Yes sir, yes sir,
Am I audible? Can you hear
yes
me?
sir, yes sir,
Yes,
yes sir,
sir.
you are audible.
Okay. Is my
Yes,
screen
visible.
visible?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You know, security is column 1, weightage column 2, and return is column 3. We are going to find out the RI into XI, that is column number 4, 2 into 3. You just multiply. 10% means 0.1 into 0.15. Help me. 0.1 into 0.15.
0.015.
0.015. Okay. Then 0.4 into 0.1. 40% means 0.4.
0.04.
0.
And 10% means
0.04.
0.04.
0.04. 0.06.
0.060. Next.
0.05.
0.05.
0.050. Is it correct?
Yes. Total
If we'll add
0.0674.
all these, what you will get? If we'll add all this, what will get?
0.0.
Summation of RI into XI?
0.0674.
165.
165.
0.165.
0.165. That means our
No,
return is
16.5%.
16.5% of the portfolio.
Yes, sir.
Is it clear? Or directly you can add this like, okay, security A ro rate of weightage kete, rate of return kete, security B ro weightage kete, rate of return kete taku multiply kariba, security C ro again weightage rate of return, security D weightage rate of return multiply kariki taku jodi ame add kariba, we will also get 16.5%. Isn't it?
Yes. Yes.
This is how we are going to determine the return on the portfolio. Is it clear to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Shall we proceed to next?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Coming to next we are going to discuss about, according to Markowitz, how we are going to measure the degree of risk. We are going to discuss about the measurement of risk involved in the portfolio, which is otherwise known as the level of risk in the portfolio. Okay, so for that purpose, we can determine the coefficient of variation. So we can take coefficient of variation between two securities, security A and security B. How we are going to measure this one? We have to remember this particular model. This model has been developed by Professor Markowitz. XA square into standard deviation A square plus XB square into standard deviation of B square plus 2 into XA into XB into RAB, small RAB into standard deviation of A and standard deviation of B, square root of this. Are you getting my point? Okay, so this is the model developed by Mr. Markowitz in order to measure the risk with the help of coefficient of variation between two securities. Securities A and security B.
One question. Hello.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Sir, this formula beyond 2xa xp, whether this is a square root of AB, this one is given.
Square root of?
This plus 2xa xp. Then next, what is this square root of AB, or that is
RAB. I'm just writing the notice, sir. Square root of whole formula. Okay. Otherwise, taku bracket karigi to the power half kar dele, that is square root. Are you getting my point? So we can write the notation coefficient variation of AB. AB stands for the coefficient of variation between rates of return on share A and share B, or security A and security B. The coefficient of variation between the rates of return on security A and security B. How many securities we have undertaken? 2 securities. Please remember. Okay, in our basket. And RAB, I have already written RAB here. What is RAB? Coefficient of correlation. R stands for coefficient of correlation between A and B. A और B जो दीटा सिक्योरिटीज नौचंती ता भितरे कोएफिशिएंट ऑफ कोरिलेशन कोन अछि. Okay. Standard deviation of A.
Can you repeat just
Which one?
first one, sir. COV. Coefficient of variation AB. The
Coefficient of variation between the rates of return on security A and security B. Security A और security B रा जो rates of return नौचंती आमे तार coefficient of variation between them केते अछि हमको determine करबा को पड़िबो. Okay. सेटा जो coefficient of variation between the rates of return of security A and B कहूची मो. What is that? Na relative level of risk with return. A security रा जो return हमें expect करूछंती तार relative level of risk केते. Okay. So the coefficient of variation between the rates of return on security A and security B. RAB stands for coefficient of correlation between A and B. Clear? And standard, this is standard deviation A means this is the standard deviation of security A. Standard deviation of security A. Standard deviation of B means standard deviation of security B. Are you getting my point? Again, XA stands for the proportion invested in security A. Proportion of investment in security A. XB stands for proportion of investment in security B. Is it clear?
Yes.
And standard deviation square हमें कहीं के नौचंती square of the standard deviation is known as variance. आपण माने statistics रे पढ़ी थिबे hopefully. Yes or no? Square of the standard deviation is known as variance. जोटे हमें standard deviation square नहीं चंती, that is the variance of security A and variance of security B. Up to this clear?
Yes.
Okay. Then let us take another
Sir,
example
what
for
is
your understanding.
XA and XB?
Which one?
XA and
Proportion.
XB.
Proportion.
XA and XB stands for XA टा होची proportion of investment in security A. XB means proportion of investment in security B. मने करंतु आपण लक्ष टका इन्वेस्ट करूछंती सिक्युरिटी ए रे केते इन्वेस्ट करिवे सिक्युरिटी बी रे केते इन्वेस्ट करिवे
Percentage.
percentage 50% 50% or 60 40 40 60 30 70 70 30 25 75. Are you getting my point? So this
Yes, sir.
indicates
Thank
the
you, sir.
proportion of investment, or otherwise it is known as the weightage of the investment in each security in the portfolio. A हमें केते इन्वेस्ट करूछंती और B हमें केते इन्वेस्ट करूछु. Clear? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Let us proceed to next. Next, we are going to take one example. Here, we are going to find out the expected rate of return of the portfolio, that means return on the portfolio, as well as the degree of risk involved in this portfolio. Clear? So, here I'm just writing one small question. Okay. So these questions may be given in your exam in statement form. How many assets are there? Asset A and asset B. Two securities are there. Asset A and asset B. Financial assets are securities. Financial securities are there. Clear? And here it is given the weightage. Weightage is given. In security A, we are investing 40%, and in security B, we are investing 60%. Clear?
Yes.
And return in percentage is also given. That means the expected return from security A, we are expecting that we are going to get 15%, and from security B, we are going to get 9%. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
And risk associated with each and every security is also given. Degree of level of risk. Here it is 1.5 and here it is 0.8. Are you getting? This question may be given in your exam, let's say in statement form. ताको हमें कौन करिया पड़िबो ताको गोटे abstract आपण information सब extract करी कि ताको हमें solve करिया पड़िबो ए जो छोट छोट क्वेश्चन सब जदी एग्जाम रे केते बेले आपन आसुची क्वेश्चन देखि कि केते बेले हडबडै जिबेनी you need to collect the information. On the basis of the information you need to apply the model or the formula to find out your answer. And here another information is given, RAB, that means correlation of coefficient between asset A and B is also given, that is 0.7. Okay, statement form रे जदि हमें क्वेश्चन टाको सेट करिबा केमिति सेट करिबा, there are two assets A and B. The proportion of investment, the rate of, or we can say investment in asset A is 40% and asset B is 60%. Full stop. The rate of return expected from asset A and B are 15% and 9% respectively, with level of risk or degree of risk 1.5 and 0.8 respectively. So that is given, and the correlation coefficient between asset A and B is 0.7%. Find out the return of the return on the portfolio and the degree of the risk. Degree of the risk. Find out the return of the portfolio and degree of risk involved in the portfolio. That question may be there, 3-4 line question is there. So out of this, what we are doing? We are extracting the information. Two assets A and B, weightage, that means investment, proportion is given 40%, 60%, return is given, risk is given, correlation coefficient is given. So everything is given. What we are going to find out? We are going to find out the return on the portfolio. Okay, so let us go for the solution. We know we have a mathematical model. How to find out RP? Please tell me. How to find out RP?
Sir, RP is the summation of
RI
the
into XI?
RI
Yes or
into
no?
XI. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
RI into XI. So what will do here? Return. First asset return kete 0.15 into proportion kete 0.4. Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Second asset return kete 0.09. 9% means 0.09. Can I write or not? ମୁଁ ଏଟା ଲେଖି ପାରିବି ନା ଲେଖି ପାରିବିନି? 60% को 0.6 ଲେଖି ପାରିବି ନା ନାହିଁ? 9% को 0.9 ଲେଖି ପାରିବି ନା ନାହିଁ? 0.09.
Yes, sir.
So tell me, what is your expected return on the portfolio? 0.15 into 4. Tell me 0.15 into 4.
0.06.
0.06 plus 0.09 into 6. 0.6.
0.054.
0.054. You just add these two. 0.06 plus 0.054.
0.114.
0.114. That means the return on the portfolio is 11.4%. Isn't
Yes,
it? This is 11.4%. हाँ या नहीं?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Is it clear to all of you? Is there any doubt to compute return on the portfolio according to Markowitz model?
No,
No,
sir.
sir. No.
It's easy.
Okay. It's easy. But ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆପଣଙ୍କର ଯଦି ଏକ୍ଜାମ ବସୁଛନ୍ତି ଏକ୍ଜାମରେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଦଉଛନ୍ତି ଯଦି ଷ୍ଟେଟମେଣ୍ଟ ଥାଇକି ଯୋଉଟା ଯୋଉ ଆମର କହନ୍ତି ଷ୍ଟେଟମେଣ୍ଟ ଫର୍ମରେ ଯେତେବେଳେ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ପାଇବେ ଏଇଟା ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ ଦେଇଛି କିଏ ଦେଖୁଛି? If you are writing a theory question,
ନହେଲେ sir ଆମେ ଆଟେଣ୍ଡ କରୁ।
ହଁ କରିବାଟା ହଉଛି wise.
Yes, sir.
କାରଣ theory questions ରେ you may get average mark or 1 2 mark may be deducted by your examiner. But ଯଦି ଆପଣ ଏମିତି ଯଦି କିଛି sum বা calculation problem କିଛି ଦେଇଛି, so if you are doing in a proper way you will get the full mark. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Okay, this is all about computation of return on the portfolio. Second component कौन कहिछि हमको? We are going to measure the degree of risk or level of risk involved in this portfolio. Yes or no? So for that purpose, what we are going to do? We are going to find out the coefficient of variation between asset A and asset B. What is the formula? Square of the proportion of first asset, square of the proportion of, standard deviation, square of the standard deviation of the second asset, first asset. That means it is the variance of the first asset. Okay, square of the proportion of the first asset into variation of the variance of the first asset. Variance means square of the standard deviation. Then again square of the proportion of the second asset means asset B into variance of asset B, standard deviation square. Then plus 2 into proportion of asset A into proportion of asset B. Again multiplied with correlationship between asset A and B, correlation coefficient between asset A and B. Then what is the degree of risk involved in asset A, that is standard deviation, and degree of risk involved in B, asset B. Okay, here I am a square root, isn't it? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, tell me what is the proportion of asset A? 80 जो नहीं थे proportion of asset A केते? 40%.
40.
एटा को टिके मने रखंतु मते रिपीट करिवे हला. You can take the screenshot of this. Taken? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Tell me, proportion of A केते? 40%. 0.4. हाँ या नहीं?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Square of this. Again, risk associated with asset A, standard deviation
1.5.
एटा रिस्क जोटा देइछि एटा होछि स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन. रिटर्न जोटा देइछि हमर दिस इज आर जो आरआई नेले, दिस इज आरआई, वेटेज हला कोन एक्सआई, नॉट आर पीआई, दिस इज एक्सआई. यस और नो?
Yes, sir.
ओके, टेल मी स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन ऑफ ए केते देइछि? 1.5.
1.5.
So square of this plus second 60% 0.6 square
0.6.
into risk केते देछि?
0.8.
0.8 square of this. हाँ या नहीं?
Yes, sir.
Plus 2 into proportion, dot means into, okay? 0.4 into 0.6. Again, correlation coefficient between two. RAB केते देइछि
0.7
into 0.7 into standard deviation of A हला केते 1.5
1.5
into 0.8
6 8
0.8 देइछि ना
Yes,
0.8 एगुडा जो डॉट देइछि एगुडा सब मल्टीप्लिकेशन. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Is it clear to you?
Yes, sir.
एटा को सॉल्व करिकि तार स्क्वायर रूट बाहर करले मते सॉल्व करिकि कहंतु 0.4 रो स्क्वायर केते
Set 1.6 habo
1.6
0.16 sir.
0.16
Yes, sir.
0.1.
just a minute. Okay, 0.16 0.16 into 1.5 रो स्क्वायर कहंतु
2.25
2.25 clear plus
Yes.
0.6 square
0.36
0.36 into 0.8 square
0.64
0.64 okay एटा को पूरा हमें मल्टीप्लाई करंतु 2 into 0.4 into 0.6 into 0.7 into 1.5 into 0.8
0.6 2.7
0.4032
0.4032 okay
Nine.
square root of this
नाइ केम देबो बेटा
आपण कंप्यूट करले मैडम कंप्यूट करके कहले
2 मल्टीप्लाई अछि सर 1.5 अछि एटा तो 3 हे गलाने एठी
अच्छा मल्टीप्लाई अगेन 2.4 into 0.4 into
2 into
0.6
0.4 into 0.6 into 0.7
into
1.5
0.403
into 1.5 into 0.8
8 ठीक है सर सॉरी सर ठीक है
clear
यस सर
then 0.16 into 2.25
0.36
0.36 plus 0.36 into 0.64
0.2304
0.2304 plus 0.4032 सब गुड़ा को ऐड कर दिया जाओ व्हाट इज द टोटल 0.36 plus 0.2304 plus 0.4032
0.9936
9936
0.9936
9936
okay square root of this square root of 0.9936
0.99679
68 कर दिया राउंडिंग ऑफ 68
okay 996768 हमें गला approximately ठीक अछि this is the level of risk involved okay this is the level of risk or degree of risk associated with the portfolio so what we can conclude please remember jete bede amara coefficient of variation will be three situations may be there it may be equal to 1 or it may be less than 1 or it may be greater than 1 are you getting my point
yes sir
three situations will be there it may be
Yes, yes.
greater than 1 less than 1 or equal to 1 equal to 1 means moderate our investment is moderate one that means no more risk no more return are you getting my point
yes sir
neither efficient nor inefficient when our risk is less than 1 that means our portfolio is efficient one why it is efficient one ame relative रिस्क नहीं कि रिलेटिव रेट ऑफ रिटर्न आमे बाहर करछंती तो एई जो बास्केट ऑफ पोर्टफोलियो आमे जदी नबा द रिटर्न वी आर गेटिंग मोर इन कंपैरिजन टू रिस्क आर यू गेटिंग माय पॉइंट our risk is here 0.9968 which is less than 1 yes or no
Yes, yes.
which is less than 1 that means our portfolio is efficient one means we are getting more return in comparison to risk
Okay.
relating to the risk we are getting more return तेबे ये जो मॉडर्न पोर्टफोलियो थ्योरी जो डेवलप मार्कोइस कले से कौन कहले जे इन्वेस्टर शुड हैव द माइंडसेट टू गेट द मोर रिटर्न बाय टेकिंग मिनिमम अमाउंट ऑफ रिस्क सो एटे हमें रिस्क हमर मिनिमम होची ना नहीं कम होची ना बेसी होची
रिस्क कम अच्छी रिटर्न अधिक अच्छी
comparatively by taking minimum risk comparatively we are getting better return so that is efficient one yes or no
yes yes
जदि रिस्क टा मोर देन 1 हे जीवो
Inefficient.
is it clear
yes sir
did you understand हाँ या नहीं
yes sir
this is all about modern portfolio theory Markowitz model by considering Markowitz model we can choose the optimum selection or we can select the optimum portfolio for our investment is it clear
yes sir
yes or no if you have any doubt or any query you can proceed any query from your side
no sir na bujibal next camp sir na
next CAPM ame tomorrow I hope we have the morning class 8 to 9 है ना नहीं so please
yes,
join sharp at 8 we'll discuss that CAPM model and we'll proceed with others part
sir
हाँ please
sir one request thila sir
हाँ
जो
कौन
हमर मंडे onwards क्लास टा अछि 9 to 10 सेटा को एई समय इवनिंग रे करियो होई सर
9 to 10 माने कोन मतलब मो क्लास तो बोधे 8 to 9 दैछंदी
हां ठीक है सर आपण एमबीके
मोर 8 to 9 बोधे अछि हमर SAPM टा बोधे 8 to 9 अछि
आगे आगे आगे
Yes, sir.
तो जदि आपण क्लास चेंजेस पाई कहउछंती तबे यू जस्ट कांटेक्ट विथ योर PCP कोऑर्डिनेटर आई होप रश्मि मैडम इज देयर
हां हां
बुझले कि
आगे
अदरवाइज जो टाइम दैछंती से 8 to 9 करबे आ कोन अछि आपण तो से 20 to 25 बा मैक्सिमम 30 स्टूडेंट्स जॉइन करछंती
एफएम रे अछंती देखुदिले 113
हां ठीक अछि ता भितरे के कोठे बिजी थिबे most of you are also working and most of you are also professional हुए तो किछि अछंती जो माने से माने जानि थिबे जे एई पेपर को आगुर किछि पढी थिबे कोठी ना को डिग्री रे तो सेई पेपर को से माने कवर करि परिबे सो सेटा भी हेई पारे I hope FMI and MBFS two papers are theory based okay so this paper is consist of mix up of theories as well as some practicals are also there
इस क्वेश्चन रे भी आसु जे देखुदिले सॉल्यूशन पे
देखिबे प्रीवियस जो क्वेश्चन सब आसुची सेते किछि किछि आसीबो आपनकर जाय बेले 40% 50% बा 30% एमती प्रैक्टिकल रेस्ट में बी थ्योरी लाइक दिस बुझले तो एटा कथा होची आपन को बुझिबार अछि जदि बुझि पारिबे इट विल बी इंटरेस्टिंग अदरवाइज इट विल बी कंप्लीटली बोरिंग टू यू
इंटरेस्टिंग किछि किछि बेसिक
हाँ बेसिक जो इन्फॉर्मेशन जहाँ भी आपण एटू पाउछंती तापर जदि आपण जे कोनसी टेक्स्ट बुक बा आपनकर जो अछि स्टडी मटेरियल ताकू नै कि जदि जिबे आगु को प्रोसीड करिवे देन यू कैन एबल टू गैदर लॉट ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन एमिति एग्जाम पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू आपण जदि कहबे जे नै एग्जाम तो अछि मु तो सेमति 2 दिन पूर्व पढ देबे हेइ जिवो बा पास करि जिबे देन इट्स ओके नो वरीज
ना एटा समस्त पढिबा दरकार जानिबा दरकार एटा होची माने प्रैक्टिकली लाइफ रे दरकार काहे कि ना समस्त
कथा
इन्वेस्टमेंट
होची एग्जाम पास करिबा इनफॉरमेशन कहले मुझे जोड़ा कहूँ नॉलेज आगु आम ट्रेडिशनल कॉन्सेप्ट नॉलेज कहते बर्तमान आम स्मार्ट एज रे कहते दैट इज इनफॉरमेशन जहाँ पाखे जिते इनफॉरमेशन अच्छी दैट गाय इज स्मार्ट आपण पाखे से लेवल ऑफ इनफॉरमेशन जदि अच्छी आम आज स्मार्ट एज रे कहवा जे यू आर स्मार्ट पीपल हाँ ना नहीं तो
हाँ
केतिक आपण इनफॉरमेशन गैदर करिबा बा नॉलेज एक्वायर करिबा आउ एग्जाम पास करिबा बोथ आर two different
different.
approach. So how you are
Understand?
taking that is up to you. Upon
No
evening ray,
problem.
you
Sir,
can
one thing.
yes
Actually,
please.
what you're telling is absolutely correct, sir. And since we are belongs to different organization, we have different areas of work. That's the main problem. The issue is if we even we are ready to study and we have very much interest to keep our study on to gain the not only to gain the degree but to learn the thing. But what is practically happening now? There are schedules of work which is really hindering our
Yeah.
study hours.
Completely, Arnabji, completely I agree with you. I am also working somewhere else. Okay, I know.
Yes. I'm basically a project manager from a company.
Not only you are
That's a big
listen.
job in. So
Not
that's the
only
issue.
you. Not only you
Everyone,
people. Everyone, not only you people are working side by side, you are also taking care of your family. You are also taking care of your if anyone is having old parents. Again, if you are also taking care of your study, that means since you are pursuing the degree, so
Health issues there.
so many things are there. Everything you need to that is known as the way of life. We need to balance all those things
yes.
in order to
And we
proceed.
have to have another most important thing, sir. We need patience. That is the most important thing.
Patience is
Because
only
unless
key.
if we don't have patience, we cannot learn anything. That's the main thing.
नहीं मैं क्या बोल रहा था कि ये पेपर सबको जानना जरूरी है क्योंकि जिंदगी में यही काम आएगा
No,
क्योंकि
that's true. Because
everyone
see,
should invest
now they
appreciation
can
money.
see, sir, one thing. Actually, we are having different kind of investment in our life also. This it is very much effective because all of people are busy now in there are so many investments instruments like mutual funds, debentures, and all these things. These will guide us because if someone is trying to bully you or someone is trying to make you fool, you can counter because you have knowledge of this. So once you counter with your knowledge, the knowledge is the power. So if you have that power, so nobody can make you fool and nobody can drag you or nobody can direct you to a wrong side of industry. You can take your own decision. That's the main important thing.
At least what I am saying, you should gather some sort of information, at least for your personal finance, because
yes.
most of we are salaried person. Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes.
We may have some sort of savings. How we are managing our savings? Otherwise, जदि आमे डिग्री करिया मैनेजमेंट रे डिग्री प्रोफेशनल किंतु चीट फंड रे इन्वेस्ट करूथुबा. Are you getting my point?
And that's also that is also specialized in finance. That's the thing.
So that much of information we should inculcate in order to succeed in our life. I mean, we may not be professional or like your professional fund manager. Okay.
But
yes,
financial planning
one thing, sir, just want to tell you when you are giving this way, this theory is this latest to what we're discussing now. Actually, there's one point that's been discussed that all investors must be having one common goal, means risk awareness or something like this. See, investment can be done in practical way in different fashions. Actually, the people having a mixed feeling, they are investing in the portfolio. So, and it is not possible for every time that all investors should align in the same goal. So, I think there is a fallacy in this concept, this particular model.
Listen, what are the assumptions taken by Professor Marco is that I have already cited. What is that? That doesn't mean that your level of risk and your level of return will be same as my level of risk and my level of return. But thing is that in common mindset of the investor, that we all are expecting positive rate of return. Okay, since suppose you are investing in equity, that means your risk appetite is more. You can absorb more risk. So you should invest in equity in order to get more return. Your risk level is more in order to get more return. Suppose I am a risk averse person. I don't want to take any kind of risk. I don't have any knowledge. Mo pakare kichi alpa kichi surplus money or saving is there. So that I may put in commercial bank, in FD, fixed deposit, in order to get 6% or 7% rate of return. But as again, जोटा कहले सबो investor मानकर same mindset, our goal is to get positive rate of return. If you want to go for gambling, gambling जोटा कहते speculation and investment we have already discussed. If you have lot of wealth, if you are in elite class, you have plenty of fund, then you can enjoy your life with gambling or casino or horse riding or lottery or something else also. Okay, so these are the common assumptions taken by Marquis in order to develop this particular theory, modern portfolio theory, through which he has already derived this Marquis model in order to determine return on the portfolio as well as to measure the level of risk associated with the portfolio. Am I clear, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Sir,
Okay.
thank you, sir.
Okay. So let us wind up the session for today. So
Yes,
thank you for your patience and joining with me. Have a great time ahead. Tomorrow in the morning, we are going to once again meet in this virtual platform. Till then, bye. Good night.
Thank you. Good night,
Thank
sir.
you, sir.
Okay, sir.
Good night,
night.
sir.
Good night.
Good night, sir.
Great, sir. Thank you.